Hey guys, okay, so this is Ziki here, and I say happy Sunday to everybody. Okay, so here's the thing, guys. I just want to relax a little bit, you know. So now there's a page that is called Nhlanhla Lux Official that is on Facebook. I am not really sure if this page is actually the official page, but this page shares everything to do with Nhlanhla Lux. You know, they put all the posts, the videos, and everything. And of course, like yesterday, I discovered that they followed me. I don't know why. Anyway, so here's the thing, guys. I'm going to be, reading for you some of the posts that they share there and the comments that people are putting on their posts. So we already know that Nhlanhla Lux is actually the leader of Operation Dudula, and Operation Dudula has not been, really liked by many people, especially by foreigners and by other critics because of their stance on foreigners, right? So let me just be quick. I'm going to be reading for you the comments, the post and the comments. And if there's anyone who wants to join the live stream, the link is already there in the comment section. You can just press the link and you can join. This discussion is just an open discussion, all right? Something that I just decided to do, okay? So the first post that I'm going to be sharing with you is, it has been done about an hour ago. It says, as the member and leader of Operation Dudula South Africa, I love and support my Zimbabwean brothers and sisters. As Operation Dudula leader, will always abide by the laws of the Republic of South Africa, as well as Zimbabwe's laws if I visit Zimbabwe. We will always pray for him to rest in eternal peace. Elvis Nyati. Now, a lot of people did not really like that post, okay? They did not really like the post. Some of the comments, this one came from someone called Tichaona. He said, it's great when two strangers become friends, but it's sad when two friends become strangers. South Africans and Zimbabweans are brothers and sisters. Umlando unjalo. Let's preach the gospel of unity regardless of our differences. And then another one comes and said, I know Zim people don't die and perish just like that. Just sit and watch because the battle line has been drawn. Did you see his children so young burying their dead? How did you feel? Just titula and watch, don't say anything. What an insult to ancestors. And this one says, in the name of Jesus Christ, stop this nonsense, Tlatalax. He didn't kill anyone. Just ask training to us, okay? Don't say that the Elvis Nyati killed any of those South African people because he did not do anything. You must come here and apologize, for what your people did because of your calling. You are the one, okay, you are the one who called people to kill this guy. Another one by the same Mpala said, how do you expect someone who died such a painful death to rest in peace? Are you mocking his death? Thula Nhlanhla, please, we don't need your condolences. Qhubeka ngedudula yakho. Okay? And other people said, Nhlanhla Lux, shut up your calabash. Do you know how painful our brother died, shouting and screaming to your fellow brothers to let him go off alive? But because they wanted to be written in the Guinness, what did you say after he was brutally murdered? Hope more job opportunities will open up because Elvis is dead. The problem is you taking the law into your own hands. If you have time, watch all the videos of Elvis Nyati's burial and you'll get answers that will awake you from your deep sleep. Someone says, as much as I love all my brothers and sisters, I hate the way you killed the man and no regret statement you issued after his death. But I think we should leave his issue and concentrate on helping the Durban victims as well as the Langa fire victims. Okay, another comment says, you killed him like a dog, and yet you are here talking about rest in peace. No, No one will ever rest in peace. His spirit will haunt you forever. The Bible says, those who live by the sword will die by the sword. Okay. And another one says, his family gave him all the weapons to fight everyone who had a hand in his murder, including you, Nhlanhla. You will learn to kill chickens whenever you are thirsty for blood, not innocent people. Elvis Nyati, he will fight for himself and he won't rest till he is done with all his murderers. Watch the space. Okay. Another one says, Puteke wena Nhlanhla. We don't need your condolences. You killed him. Now you want to play nice boy. Go to hell. Elvis will not rest till all you, his murderers, get you what you deserve. Fight, fight. Okay. Elvis Nyati, don't rest, bro. Nhlanhla needs to be brought to book. And this comment says, how do you expect someone who died such a painful death to rest in peace? Stop it, okay? And then we have someone here saying, if you think someone can just die that way and rest in peace, then you must be smoking some strong ones. That poor guy was a son, a dad, a brother to others, too young to die in such a painful death. And the truth is, he will not be resting in peace till all those who have put his hands on him pay the price, including you, Nhlanhla. Wow. Someone says in Nhlanhla, don't turn your people against each other. You are confusing them. Today you are against the Zimbabweans. Tomorrow you are in support of them. This innocent life of Elvis would have been spared. Nothing wrong with fighting for a cause. But as long as you preach hatred, no matter how justified it can be, you will always lose, lives. Remember, read what your followers are saying, and you can't tell is bad. Okay, so this is about a post that was posted by a page that is called Nhlanhla Official, that is on Facebook. He actually made a post which is reading. He said on the post, as the member and leader of Operation Dudula South Africa, I love and support my Zimbabwean brothers and sisters. As Operation Dudula leader, will always abide by the laws of the Republic of South Africa and as well as Zimbabwe's if I visit them. Okay. He said we will always pray for him to rest in eternal peace. Elvis Nyati. Now, this post, a lot of Zimbabweans are not really happy about this post that has been just posted there. Okay. So many people are coming there to say, this thing that has been posted is a mockery to the Nyati family. It's a mockery to the Zimbabwean people. It's actually a mockery to Elvis himself, considering the way he died. Okay. So people are saying, why are you making a post like that? You're just supposed to keep quiet because now you're coming here to make a joke of something that is very, very serious like that. So it's actually a trending post right now. Okay, it's actually a trending post. So I've been reading for you guys the comments that are coming from the people, but because the comments are very, very, there are too many comments. Okay, I'm not going to be able to read everything for you guys. Okay, but I'll just be selecting some comments. Okay, and we're going to move on to the next post. All right, so let me just read two more comments and then we are going to move forward. Okay, so this one is coming from someone called Tendai. Tendai says, what goes around comes around. Never think that the spirit of Elvis will rest. Your days are numbered. God is in control of the universe. He is the creator of heaven and earth. He will not sleep or slumber. The day is coming for you to reap what you sowed. Okay. And this one said, rather say, I regret that my unwise actions have resulted in the death of Elvis Nyati. So people are calling on Nhlanhla to come out and condemn what happened to Elvis openly, okay? But of course, we haven't seen such a post except this post that has just been shared right now. So, like I said before, I am not 100% sure that this page belongs to Nhlanhla, okay? But everything they post there is all about Operation Dudula and Nhlanhla post and photos and everything, okay? Anyway, let me move on. Let me move on to the next post. But before I go, let me just read a comment here that has been shared by someone called AK. He said, it's strange how you don't think South Africans didn't lose innocent women and men who died in Limpopo and Pretoria, killed by evil Zimbos, and their families scammed by ransom money. How evil can you be? Rest in peace to the South Africans killed by Zimbabweans. Their spirits will not rest until all their killers are dealt with accordingly. Okay, this is a comment from someone called AK. And if there's anyone who wants to join the live stream, I have said I have pasted in the link there for how someone can join there. Okay, there's a link that I've just shared. If there's anyone who just want to join there, you can click there. Okay, let me move on to the next post. Okay, from this page, this one says it's talking about vigilantism. Let me just pray for you. Okay, listen to this.
In this country, you do the policing. Yeah,
listen to this.
Arrest people who break the law. Yeah, it's not your place.
Yeah. So if it's not my place, that means already our conversation is undermining our constitution and our laws. Our laws do say that a citizen can arrest someone when they're doing wrong. So how then do I confront the social ills and the crimes in our communities if I can't?
You get state law enforcement agencies to do that.
No, but that means, let's not run away from what the law and the constitution says. Citizens' arrest is there. I'm not daydreaming. So why are we undermining citizens' arrest? That means you are saying that the people in Soweto must just keep quiet when the police are collecting bribes from drug dealers and mustn't make sure that the future of our kids is in our hands. We must just sit as couch potatoes and hope Superman will come out of the sky and help us. No one is coming to save us. That's why you are seeing the people rise. The dollar has a market simply because the government and the law enforcement was not doing its job. And we're not here to point those fingers. We are here to partner to ensure that the country moves forward. We're doing it together. And that's what you've seen us do in our operations. Because even if you YouTube now, you Google now, you go to anywhere, any platform, you will see that Dudula operations always have law enforcement in the background. So how can we be vigilantes? Because vigilantism, we must not mislead the nation. When someone says you are a vigilante, that means you are taking, you are enforcing the law without legal authority. That's what a vigilante is. So if we have legal authority, meaning we have law enforcement present, and the arrests that we've always had in our operations are done by the police. I'm not even touching the citizens arrest that we can do. So where is the vigilantism? But no, simply because black people have organized themselves and managed to organize themselves in black communities greater than what government is organizing themselves, greater than what politicians are organizing themselves or how they are organizing themselves, better organized than even the law enforcement. Then it's a problem. These blacks can't be organized. We are organizing ourselves and working together in our communities outside politics, because politics in its nature is very divisive. We divide in our communities. So we said that we're going to come together outside politics to take our communities forward, and this is what you are seeing happening today.
Okay, so this is another post that was shared on that page. Okay, it is saying that the laws of South Africa gives its citizens the right to enforce laws and effect legal arrest, which is called the citizens arrest. Okay, they said media, subs, and politicians need a crash course on the South African laws and constitution. Now, I am going to read for you also the comments that came from that post. It says, I am waiting for Vuyo to answer. He paralyzed him by using the law. How can it be vigilantism if police are present to observe the law? Okay, it shows the media is paid to spread a false narrative and they are failing dismally. Okay, Pambili, more Operation Dudula. Okay. And another one says, my brother, you are bringing calamities in your mother country by burning a human being alive. You better apologize to the family of the person who was roasted because of your operation. Since independence, there was rain all over South Africa, but not such type of floods that are killing people in different parts of South Africa. As a citizen, you have the right to arrest whoever is breaking the laws of your nation, but you don't have the right to roast a person like a chicken. Even a chicken cannot be roasted alive. Otherwise, the law enforcement will arrest you for your own. Okay. The spirit of the deceased is coming upon you and your fellow Dudula and is going to impoverish you and your children up to the fourth generation. Okay. They will die poor and keep blaming foreigners, but not knowing that they have blood in on their hands. Okay, so this is another comment. Okay, let me move on. Because now no bribes are taken in Operation Dudula is watching and cleansing out corruption. They are not going to get ghost votes. So Pambiling Operation Dudula, these are other people, okay? And someone is saying, stop speaking with emotions, otherwise, we won't understand anything. You cannot drive foreigners away. You are not the one that brought them to South Africa. You are the ones committing crime in your own country, and you blame it on foreigners. All Zimbabweans staying in South Africa, don't fear these people. Do what you have to do and hustle for your families. They fear you because you are a threat in their working environment, because you work hard. They fear you because you don't choose and you make progress with the little that you earn. They are jealousy because God gave you the brains. Without Zimbabweans, you know you don't have competition. It's not you only facing the competition, it's on. So let me just skip this one. It's too long, okay? And they are saying a luta continua, Zimbabweans and Africans, okay? And then this one says, know your law and your rights. Rights comes with responsibilities. Rights have limitations, okay? And someone says, wrong. A citizen's arrest is legal. Vigilantism is not. Know the difference. You need a crash course, okay? Like I said, guys, if there is anyone who wants to join this live stream, okay, it's just an impromptu live stream, so you can talk about anything. I have shared the link there. You can click on the link, it will take you straight into the studio, and I am going to add you, okay? So you can join there, right? As I continue to read some of the comments there, right? And then someone says, how come when zombies and memorandum they get what? Not into the country, but the citizens get arrested for cleaning their country. Can someone please look at laws of the country? The laws of this country need change. The country can be sold because of these laws. Foreigners have more rights and protection than the local South Africans, okay? And this one said, Nhlanhla Lux never sent anyone to ban Elvis. We all know that Elvis was banned by the community of dispute, okay? And this Operation Dudula wasn't there. And my brother was killed by Zimbabwean men in 2017, but I don't go around hating in all Zimbabweans I come across. If those undocumented people weren't in South Africa, my brother would still be alive. But what I can say, because you will say I am xenophobic, what happened to Elvis was very sad. But niyazi ukuthi nabantu benu bayabulala ama-South Africans, okay? So you are on point, Comrade Nhlanhla. Media and police and top politicians are captured by mafias. Dudula is only a solution to bring back what politicians have taken away from us, okay? So here you can see comments from Zimbabweans, they are against the Operation Dudula. From South Africans, they are supporting Nhlanhla. They are saying, Nhlanhla, what you are doing, you are not breaking any laws, okay? You are working, or you are operating in the confines of the laws, okay? So let's move on to the next post.
And yet I'm saying, like the American lady, we've allowed somebody else to tell us that was xenophobic. Can we believe it? Why do we allow ourselves to be defined by somebody else, such that we lose the capacity to be the kind of change agent we want to be? Because we allow that somebody else tells us who we are, tells us what our problems are, and tells us what we need to do.
So this post here, this video that you're listening is actually a video that was done by Thabo Mbeki, okay, some way back, okay. So it was also shared by Nhlanhla Lux, okay, on their page rather. So let me just read again here. They say they are trying to blame us while in their countries we cannot reside without citizenship. If they visit, then they must be given limited days and announce who are they going to visit, so that after given days they can be traced and arrested for overstaying in our country. Please clean up the country, Nhlanhla. We won't be able to rebuild our country whilst they are here. Destroying the future of our kids with the drugs and taking jobs at a very low rate and do nonsense. Please let them go, okay? You need to come to Mpumalanga and clean up the city, okay? Someone says, nonsense, Thabo Mbeki. You endorsed elections in 2008. Okay, you endorsed the Zimbabwean elections in 2008. We are suffering because of you, protecting your political gains. We're going to gain our power and we seize all your properties. Nhlanhla, we are all aware what the word campaign means. You want to be voted for. That's why you are all over with all the BS. Stay away from tarnishing Malema and ANC government. Your strategy is stupid. Thank you, Nhlanhla Dlamini. This is the result of your xenophobic movement, Dudula. Children of the late Elvis Nyati, what? They now don't have a father and someone to take care of them. Thanks to you, Nhlanhla. Someone says, if we are xenophobic, why are they here? Then someone said, do you remember this scene? Are you really sleeping peacefully after this sight, especially those who set him alight? Okay. There's so much. Okay, so now, guys, let me move forward to the next post from Nhlanhla. Okay. And then the next post is that before spring season, Operation Dudula will be unstoppable. Too strong, that's what they don't understand. They plan against us and we plan in the future. We are not going to stop, okay? And also there is a post about a prophecy that was given saying that in South Africa, there's going to be a death of an activist or someone, who is very prominent, okay? And there was insinuation that maybe that person could be Nhlanhla or that person could be Malema. So on Nhlanhla's page, they shared that post, okay, saying, seems like illegal foreigners make up these rules because of their unlimited resources. They even foretell South Africans' death. Their resources, which include corrupt politicians, law enforcement, while South Africans with limited resources are forced to fight within limited rules. Okay, so like I said, there's a prophecy that was given that there's going to be the death of a young South African, very influential, very prominent, and very well known. Okay, so they're saying this prophecy, South Africans are saying it's nonsense. Other nationalities are saying this prophecy is going to come to pass. Okay, you can find the post now. It has been shared on Facebook. Okay, I cannot play for you that prophecy for now, but it's there. You can go and check it out. A prophecy for Nhlanhla or Malema. Now let me read again. Here is a comment from Tsepo. Tsepo says, my mother's house was broken into 5 times between 2018 and 2020. We later found the stolen goods in the hands of Zimbos. To think we used it to hire Zimbos and let them in our house. Head music. That's I'm sorry if that happened to you. Okay, but the thing is, not all Zimbos are like that. Okay, like in every community, we do have the outlaws. Okay, we do have people who commit crime, just like in the South African community. You also have people who commit crime. Okay, but I think the only thing is like we cannot put everybody in the same bracket. That is the problem that is there now. We are putting everyone in the same bracket. Oh, Zimbos are like this, or South Africans are cruel and everything. But not all South Africans are cruel. Not all South Africans are going about killing people or burning people. No, there's some other South Africans that you can actually sit down and have a discussion and have a conversation without all these problems. Okay, so I think the issue is just about labeling like, oh, Zimbabweans are like this, you are thieves, you are this. Therefore, people ending up, exchanging words where they're not even supposed to be, exchanging words. We know what happened to Elvis. We know, we saw it very, very bad. But of course, people are pointing it where the problem came from or might have emanated from. Okay, and that is why many people are just pointing at Operation Dudula, because of the previous operation that we've been doing, going to people's houses and pushing. Other communities also started to emulate that thing, like they feel it's the right thing to be done. Okay, to be going door to door asking, foreigners for this and that. So I think that is the issue here, huh? Okay, let me move forward, guys. Okay, now here's the thing. So people on this comment, they're commenting about the prophecy. People are commenting about the prophecy, all right? They're saying churches running like businesses. We don't take them seriously. We have got quality churches in existence for centuries and decades in South Africa. Not churches where bishops are in their 20s. Their prophecies of guessing, not sure of what they're prophesying about. They should be prophesying how many illegal foreigners will be willing to leave. If refusing them, then what's going to happen to them? Okay. And this one says, he who has ears knows the real enemies. Okay. And another one says, these people think that they have rights to be South Africans while they have their own countries. Okay. And this one says, no weapon formed against Nhlanhla shall prosper. I rebuke all devil's intentions. Back to sender. Okay. And this one says, if people are educated, have skills and hard work, why can't they prove that in their respective countries? Okay. Someone says, by the way, some politicians pretending to be revolutionaries do even attend these nonsensical churches, okay? Someone says, I think the problem starts when a bricklayer wakes up one morning and decides to be a policeman. He doesn't know what is a criminal. According to him, a foreigner is a criminal. 2 out of 10 South Africans here do not have IDs. Wow. And then let me read what my sister here, Rosie Spanda, wrote. They bought the stuff from you, South Africans. Okay, and they said they are very good in that. They must prophesy there in their own countries. On their Okay, they must prophesy in their own countries, fix their own countries, not to come here and do nonsense. Okay, then someone says, those ministers are lying to you, Mr. Lux. They will not protect you. Mark my words. Once you commit crime and there is evidence, you will go to prison and you will see that politics is a dirty game. Okay, someone says, why are you fighting with the Zimbabweans alone? Yet we have so many foreigners here. May I understand? Here, someone says, can the prophet also prophesy about those foreigners who are selling drugs in our country and those who are killing our people and stealing our South African children out of the country to destroy their future? Can you please pray to God to deal with them seriously because they are very painful? Okay. Let me read another comment here. Someone says, South Africa is our home. We will protect it, whatever means necessary. All right. Okay, move forward. Someone says here, my African brothers and sisters, you see, South Africans are not playing here. If you think that they are playing, you see, you need to go back home immediately before something bad happens to you next. Okay. Someone says, the fact that they have more rights than us, these people do whatever they want in this country just because they are protected by the law, whereas the very same law is never in our favor as the people of South Africa. Someone says nothing will ever happen to Nhlanhla. Don't listen to these false prophets. You are here to fight for our country. Someone says, after going through all the comments, my conclusion is that in South Africa, there is a vacuum of leadership, and every opportunist can parade as a leader. Shame, you look for vote, shame on you. Okay, someone say, instead of fighting the people who destroy our brothers and kids' future with the drugs, you are busy targeting innocent people whose ways between the people of Nyaopes, human trafficking, and a prophet who speaks of God's mind. So you can see here, people are divided. Okay, Temba, I'm going to add you now. Let me add Temba. Hey, Temba.
How are you, my sister?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm fine, man.
All right. So now you are following our discussion. You are following what we're sharing here. What do you want to say to us?
Yeah, firstly, I want to say condolences to the family of my brother there and everybody who died, because we always hear people complaining that nothing is said about the South Africans that died. So I think we need to make a balance so that we don't hear these complaints coming on both sides, you see. Yeah, so yeah, it's tough, guys, but sometimes I think we need to be honest to ourselves. What is happening, the killing of people is wrong. Yeah, so, but two wrongs cannot make a right.
True.
Because right now people are saying these rains are as a result of the killing of Nyati. But one can ask, is South Africa so special in a way that when people are dying in South Africa, there will be rains? Because people are dying all over Africa. People are being killed everywhere. People are fighting in Cameroon. People are fighting in DRC. They are killing each other. People are fighting in Nigeria. They are killing each other there. So it cannot be true that just because a few people have died in South Africa, now they will be rains. Why? How special is South Africa? You see, sometimes we are just careless as people, you see. Yeah,
True.
that's what I want to say.
Okay. Yeah. Truly, I understand what you're saying, but I think sometimes it's just like when something happens, how people think. Some people will be, speaking from emotions, seeing what would be happening, especially those who are affected directly. They will, people will just be, speaking from that space of hate, like they are hating,
Yeah,
and also the fact that some of the people they are actually, let me say, undocumented people. So the pain is too much in everything, the uncertainty of what is going to happen to me tomorrow and everything. So I think that is another point where people are commenting from.
yeah, yeah, I do understand that. But another thing is this thing of the economy. I think what we need to understand is that the infrastructure need to be able to handle the amount of the population. You see, the population must match the infrastructure. So
True.
people have to understand that it is very important to control the immigration. It's not that it's hate. It's not hate, but it's economics. It's reality. We cannot survive if the resources are not sustaining us. How do we survive? We can't. So we need to have an honest discussion. Everybody, Zimbabweans, South Africans, all Africans, we need to be realistic, guys,
It's
for us,
true.
because we might end up destroying South Africa, and that will mean there's nothing left in our southern part. You see,
It's true.
all of us need to defend South Africa, because right now South Africa is sustaining everybody in the southern part of Africa. So if we don't want to have an honest discussion to say, let us protect South Africa so that the entire Southern Africa survives,
True. True.
that will be detrimental to ourselves.
Yeah, I
Because
agree with
really,
you. I agree with you 100% because I really understand the issues of infrastructure and resources and everything. And, when a country, has got so many undocumented people, and, we know when people pass through immigration, there is control. Okay, there's control that happens. The government will know we have so people in this country. This is how it's going to be managed and everything. But when the country is flooded with illegal immigrant undocumented people, it means there's somehow there's something that is being abused. Okay, there's something. So I truly
yeah,
understand you, but I think the issue is people are questioning the approach. Okay, the approach of violence. For example, let's look at this way: you are at work, you are a Zimbabwean, you are at work, undocumented. then people just come to you like that. And they'll tell you, show us your passport. You know, you don't have a passport, you are at work and everything. You are arrested. And but remember, these are people with families. They've left the children in the house, okay? They have left the children in the house and whatever. So those are some of the things people are saying. In as much as we understand that these things have to happen, but also we have to look, like you said, we have to come to an understanding on how things should happen. Okay. Thank you so much, Amy, for joining us. Please make your comment. Hello, Amy. Okay, we have lost Amy, who has just joined us. Yeah. So me, I wanted to ask you what I wanted to ask you about, Temba, is about how Operation Dudula is, conducting whatever they are conducting, okay, in terms of just approaching a company or approaching a place, maybe they will meet you anywhere where you are. Like I said, some people have got families. Okay, what if if a mother is arrested in the streets and they have left the children in the house? What is going to happen?
Yeah, you see, even if it was not Operation Dudula, even the police can arrest you on the way. And I will still ask you what will happen with the children. It's just the same. When you are arrested, it might happen you have left your children at home. Maybe Dudula, maybe the police. But on the side of Dudula, they are always with the police. We have seen them everywhere they go. There's the authorities there. It can only be wrong if they are doing it alone without the company of the authorities. But if the authorities are there, it is okay. And if they don't abuse people, if they don't beat people, you see, I don't see anything wrong, because that is what active citizenship is about. Sometimes some things can be viewed negatively, but sometimes if you think deep, the whole Africa can learn something from South Africans.
True.
You can learn that South Africans, there is something positive about these marches, because these marches are teaching the authorities to wake up and do their jobs. In short, South Africans are holding their leaders accountable, because we would not be here if the leaders were doing their jobs. There wouldn't be this uncontrolled immigration if the leaders were doing their jobs properly. You see,
okay.
Only be
okay, Temba.
people, yeah.
I'm going to hold you for a little bit. Just let's listen to my brother here, Mr. Nyandoro. Thank you so much for joining me, sir.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing? Please just share with us what you have.
Okay. The thing is, like this gentleman is saying, South Africans are holding their leaders accountable. That's not true. They are victimizing innocent people. If they want to hold them accountable, they must go to Sandton. They must actually go to white people, not just to go to vulnerable Zimbabweans and start fighting with them and all those things. And the other thing that I think us as Zimbabweans and South Africans, we must understand this lacks and that Dudula thing. The problem is no one sit down and listen to him. What exactly is he saying, and pave way for what is he saying? He have got an idea to help the government, but he's victimizing the wrong people. And if you remember very well, the reason why we are flogging here in South Africa is because of the South African government. They send Mbeki to go and arrange for JNU in Zimbabwe, which was not necessary. Last, they sent Nhlanhla to go and do another investigation, which is not even implemented, and they're keeping quiet. So South Africa is actually adding to this crisis.
Brother Temba, are you listening?
Yeah, I'm listening, and I'm glad that my brother there is saying that Nhlanhla is not given a platform to be heard what he is trying to say. That is exactly the case, because Nhlanhla is saying can really help us, can really help everybody. But because they are not giving him the chance, they should be working with him. But that is not the case. So another thing that I want to add there is that Julius Malema is okay, he's right. Africa must unite. But the approach, his approach, I don't agree with his approach, because it is early to say we must just dismantle borders. We can't dismantle borders by we still have the problem of people who are trafficking drugs. While we are not talking about why people are moving away from Zimbabwe, we have to talk about those things.
Okay.
Our politicians should be talking about why people are leaving Zimbabwe. That is the first thing that should be addressed before we can say borders must be removed. Why are the people leaving their countries? Those things should be addressed first before we can say, okay, Africa is in a position to have no borders. We must have no drugs in our communities. We must have no children traffickers. We must not have dictators. We must not have leaders that abuse their citizens. And then we can say Africa can now remove the borders.
Okay, Brother Nyando.
Yeah, the thing is, I think the government of South Africa must also go to the drawing board. It seems like South Africans, they think there is nothing that they benefit from Zimbabwe. There are so many things that South Africa is benefiting from Zimbabwe. I can even tell you a very good example. For South Africa to reach to Zambia, they pass via Zimbabwe. To reach to Malawi, they pass via Zimbabwe. To reach to Congo, they pass via Zimbabwe. Of recent, drivers here in South Africa were saying they don't want foreigners to drive in South Africa. Okay, that's fine. But do they know the moment they will pass Limpopo to cross Zimbabwe, they are also foreigners? How are they going to drive? So are they saying they need to ban all the international trucks? Because if they don't want foreigners to drive in South Africa, then they mustn't drive also in Zimbabwe. And how is that going to happen? So South Africa must also tell its the community to say, you know what, we also get this and this and this and this and from Zimbabwe. It's not like Zimbabwe is only benefiting. I can give you a very good example. South Africa is misusing money for refugees. South Africa, the refugee policy, they should actually have refugee camps and put all the refugees who are working now in the camp, and the United Nations, I'm sure they are funding them. But all the money, we don't know where it is going. Imagine you come from Zimbabwe, come to South Africa, they will say, go to Pretoria, get an asylum. After getting an asylum, they don't even know what you are going to do, what you are going to eat, where you are going to sleep. And in the first place, they allow you to come in the country illegal. Why they didn't make that Baraba start at the border? So that before you even come to South Africa, you are already documented. You must come illegally in South Africa, then you go and apply for papers. I mean, how does that work?
Okay. Brother Temba. Okay, let me read some of the comments here. Someone says, I'm here in Europe. I am failing to explain this to my fellow Europeans that you poor people, you kill yourselves because of something you never caused. Anyone in Africa is not an illegal person. So this one is saying, as long as you're in Africa, you are not illegal. Brother Temba.
No, that is not realistic. That is not realistic. You see, people have been fighting for resources ever since. That is why there were many wars that were fought by our grandfathers, because they were fighting for resources. They were fighting for land to farm. They were fighting for cake. Some were stealing cake from each other. Those are the resources. They were fighting for water, the rivers. So fighting for resources has always been there. So even now, what is happening now is fighting for resources. People are fighting for resources, scarce resources. That is why there is Operation Butula. It's because of resources, scarce resources. You see, so if we don't control the movement of people, people will be concentrated in one place. People will be concentrated in one place where there will be no resources to sustain them. That is a problem. So another thing, there is a misunderstanding on my brother there in terms of truck drivers. The South African truck drivers are not saying our brothers from outside South Africa must not drive in South African roads. No, that is not what they are saying. But they are saying trucks that are registered locally, meaning trucks that are owned inside South Africa, must employ South Africans. Then that means truck companies that are there in Zimbabwe can employ Zimbabweans, and Zimbabweans can come to South Africa to deliver. They are not saying Zimbabweans shouldn't drive into South Africa. That is not what they are saying. They are not saying Zambians shouldn't drive into South Africa. But they are saying local trucks should employ South Africans.
Okay, thank you, Brother Tema. Let me just hear. We have Lozi. Lozi has just joined us, but is on mute. I'm not sure if you can hear us. You can unmute and you can give us his contribution.
Okay, how are you, everyone?
I'm fine. How are you doing? Thank you for joining us one more time.
Oh yes, thank you. I appreciate for giving me another chance to speak out.
Yeah. So you have heard from my two brothers here, Temba and Mr. Nyandoro.
Look, I'm only here in like 5 minutes ago. I don't think I've covered all the conversation, but I've heard Nyandoro speaking about the trust, which I think Temba was trying to explain to him how the whole thing is about, because I think there's misconceptions regarding the trucks, the truck drivers in South Africa, because they used to strike, which I think they still do. So basically, I think Temba has covered everything that I can explain. I mean, the South African truck drivers have never said they don't want trucks in South Africa, and I don't think there's anyone who has ever got that misunderstood. The problem with other Africans, and they like to do this deliberately, they misquote what South Africans say all the time, and this is done deliberately for self-gain. There's no one who don't understand the concept of South African truck drivers driving South African trucks for South African companies. The same can be said with Zimbabwean truck drivers driving Zimbabwean trucks for Zimbabwean companies. So the South African truck drivers were saying, can the trucks for South Africa be reserved for South African truck drivers? Because let's face it, guys. If South African drivers have to compete with Zambian drivers, Malawian drivers, Mozambican drivers, Zimbabwean drivers, we know how this goes down. South Africans are not moving to Zimbabwe or Zambia or Mozambique or those countries, basically because there's no employment. There is no big corporates that can even push the same numbers of trucks as South Africans. So if we have to,
I think there's something wrong with the audio.
They can run to. That's just the reality.
Okay, I think there's something wrong with your volume or your speakers, Mr. Lozi. Let me read some comments here. Someone says Africa is not ready. Okay, is it clear now?
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay. So did you hear me the last part I was saying? I was just basically explaining that the South African truck drivers never said other truck drivers cannot drive in South Africa. But they were basically saying South African truck drivers need to drive South African trucks, and Zambian truck drivers can come to South Africa with their own trucks as we trade. You know, logistically speaking, let's say we take let's say we take maybe sugar canes from Zambia for process in South Africa. Basically, the Zambian truck drivers will come down to South Africa with their own trucks. South African truck drivers cannot go to Zambia and drive Zambian trucks and bring them to South Africa. It doesn't make sense.
Okay, Mr. Nyandoro.
No. I think what he's talking is talking theory. Can I tell you something? I work for a trucking company. 6 of our trucks were banned in Durban, and I can tell you our trucks, they operate Durban to Zambia. They carry copper. So you are talking from hearing things that I'm on the ground. They ban our trucks, I mean, for no reason. And there are South African companies with trucks here that are going to Zambia with copper. There are South African trucks with South African drivers
Nyandoro.
that are going to DRC via Zimbabwe. So you cannot say they said it. I like the word you use, basically. Okay. Basically, yes, basically they said what you are saying, but that's not what is on the ground. So let's not actually run away from what is on the ground and talk of the basics. We are not talking of the basics here. We are talking of what is happening.
Can I speak? Because I feel like can I speak? Because I feel like you've got a habit of saying things. You got Nyandoro. I seen that you've got a habit of making big claims. Before you said South African government is receiving money for refugees and asylum seekers. Do you have a tangible evidence for that? Or is that a claim?
That doesn't need tangible evidence. Every country that actually accommodate refugees.
No.
Listen to me. If you don't know, I want to educate you now. Any country that accommodate refugees get money from United Nations. There's no way South Africa can be just a good father to accommodate everyone.
Do you have evidence? Do you have evidence from South African government, or you just speculate?
You can phone UN. You can go to UN now and ask them how much are they giving South Africans for refugees. It's common sense. Don't try to confuse people. It's common sense. It's known.
You don't have to shout. You don't have.
No, I'm not shouting. But you're asking a funny question.
I need to respond.
It's very funny.
I need let me talk so that it. I need to respond so that.
Okay, let's talk one by one so that we hear each other clearly.
Because when people run out of facts, they're gonna try to overtalk you so that you cannot speak out. So basically, let's engage. Because let's engage and let's not be entitled. Let's not be entitled, guys. Let's engage. Let's engage as like scholars. What I'm saying is, do we have evidence of other African truck drivers driving South African trucks? We have seen other migrants driving South African trucks, right? We can all agree that historically there has been evidence of other African migrants driving South African trucks. Can we agree?
We like, I can give you companies where South African drivers are going to.
No. Listen to what I'm saying.
I do have evidence that there are South African drivers who are doing cross-border.
Listen to what I'm saying. You need to, listening is a skill. I said there are South African trucks that are driven by migrants in South Africa, other migrants from other countries driving South African trucks. Can we agree with that?
Yes, it has been always like that.
Hello?
It has been always like that. Before you were even born, it was like that always.
But you need to say yes or no. Don't give me a long sentence. Is it? We do agree that.
Yes, I do agree.
So,
yes.
Yes. So we can agree that when people were protesting and burning trucks, it was people who were fed up, who didn't have to choose because this matter hasn't been addressed for a while. It's not that South Africans were targeting foreign trucks. They were just responding and burning any truck they see. They didn't care whether the truck was from Zambia, Botswana, Namibia, Zimbabwe, be it. At that time, they were responding to a long ongoing thing that was being forgotten by a government. Can we agree?
We can agree, but you must remember something.
No,
that is the problem.
I need to finish. I need to finish.
Yes, we can agree. Let's agree.
Yes. Okay. So can we agree that if what South African truck drivers are calling for can be avoided, where South Africans drive their own trucks and other nations drive their own trucks. This whole thing can be avoided and we can all trade fairly. Can we agree that's how it's going to be?
I don't agree.
You don't agree?
I don't agree. Because remember drivers, because remember these foreign drivers, they're not employing themselves. So
they what?
They don't employ themselves. So it can only work if South Africans victimize the employers, not employees.
That's true, but remember, here's the thing: we're not gonna ignore the fact that African leaders are failing their own people and dumping them on South Africa. Now, imagine if African leaders can take care of their people, whereas there's no people who are available to exploit in South Africa. So I know I'm gonna say our government needs to deal with that, and South Africans need to deal with that, which is what we are currently doing. But everybody's crying xenophobia when we do it. Xenophobia, obviously, the attacks must be avoided. We shouldn't be attacking anyone, but the matter should be taken to the government where they need to address the issue of unemployment in South Africa. We cannot afford to have foreign truck drivers driving South African trucks when we have high unemployment rate. That is common sense, because South African truck drivers, they're not driving any trucks in any African country. So if we're going to do this Pan-African thing where we all come together, we need to trade fair. Let's do it fair on the table. South Africans are not driving any truck in any African country, unless if there's information that I'm missing.
Yeah, you are missing a lot. South African drivers are driving in other countries. They are driving, going to Mozambique. They are driving, going to Zimbabwe.
Do you hear what you said?
Yeah, I'm telling you, you are missing a fact. South African drivers are driving all over.
The South African drivers are driving. My guy, listen, South African drivers are driving in other African countries to deliver the goods from South Africa, driving South African trucks. You deliberately missing the point. South African truck drivers are not driving Zambian trucks.
The problem is.
Gentlemen. Sorry, I want to make clear from what I'm understanding Loz is saying and what Mr. Nyandoro is saying. Loz is saying there are South Africans who are driving trucks into other African countries, but they are not really working in those countries, right?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Mr. Nyandoro, on the other hand, is like, no, there are South Africans who are in other countries driving there, right?
Yes.
He said so, yes.
Yeah. So that's where the clarity should be.
Now, and he understands me very well. He clearly understands what I'm saying, but it's important for him to misquote me because it serves his own agenda. At the let's face it. Bottom line is, I'm saying South African trucks should be driven by South Africans.
I'm not misunderstanding you. It's like even the fact that you said the governments are not responsible. We spoke about it that with Temba, and we agree. But then, like you was talking of resources, you cannot claim that a person who's selling brooms in the street is taking the resources of South Africa when there's people like Rubens and all those people who are taking the resources of South Africa.
Why are we having someone from another country selling brooms in South Africa in the first place? Our immigrants laws say that's illegal. You shouldn't be here if you are here to sell brooms.
The problem is something you don't understand. I am from Zimbabwe, but my uncle was born here in South Africa. My uncle died here in South Africa. He was buried in Soweto, liberating this country. 3/4 of South Africans are using their mother's surnames. They don't know their fathers.
That has got nothing to do with anything. We're talking about countries here.
It has something to do. It has something to do because we are coming back to South. Let me tell you one thing.
That's illogical. Do you really
know?
We are a sovereign nation.
Where you come from?
We are a country. Stop making up excuses. I don't care. At this point, I'm South African.
You cannot. Hey, we have got the Muslims people.
Okay, let's speak one by one, gentlemen, so that we can understand each other.
Yes.
We have got Muslims, the Ndebelers in Zimbabwe. Muslims, they are all the descendants of Shaka and Tingani. If you know history, and today we are saying no.
Nyandoro, listen, it doesn't
If
matter. They went
let me
there
come in,
before Zimbabwe. Listen, they went there before Zimbabwe was even a country. So let's face it, Zimbabwe is a mess. When Zimbabwe was doing good, you were not talking like this. You guys were not
It's
talking
a mess
like this.
because of Mbeki. It's a mess because of Mbeki.
Stop game
Yes,
blaming.
it's a mess because of Mbeki.
Zimbabwe is a sovereign country. So Zimbabwe is a
No, it's
sovereign
not
nation.
separate because it's not separate because Mbeki actually go and change things that was already changed by Zimbabweans. He worked against the Zimbabwean people. The people voted Zambia out. Mbeki went there and actually say, no, Zimbabweans, you must work together.
Stop being
guys,
emotional.
the thing is,
Stop being emotional.
Sorry, gentlemen,
being
I have
emotional.
to just give me a minute, okay? Let me interact with people here so that you listen to what they are saying, okay? First of all, I have someone called Christopher. Christopher is saying, why are you not complaining about plumbers and ESCOM full of engineers from Zimbabwe? And then someone says, you are missing the point here. We respect everyone who is here. It's foreigners who do not respect us. Hence, there is so many illegal immigrants here, okay? And then someone says the United Nations gives money for refugees from war and those who are persecuted by their government for political reasons, okay, and sexual orientation and all those economic migrants, all right? And then someone says you don't even vote in your country because you are busy fighting South Africa instead of fighting your own ZANU PF. So these are some of the comments that we are having here. And someone who was calling me on my direct line, I cannot pick up here because I'm communicating with others. So you can just use the link that I put. Okay, let's go ahead, guys. Anyway, let's continue. You have heard the comments, okay?
Okay, I need. Can I be clear? Can I be clear with one thing here?
Yes.
Okay, can you? Okay. Here's the deal. South Africa is improving its budget in terms of securing our borders currently. The Standard Bank has put one of the largest investment. So someone's micro. Someone needs to switch off their microphone.
Okay, I've muted them.
Okay. The Standard Bank has put so much investment on the border in home affairs general. The home affairs are going to work hard to secure our borders and deal with migrants. This thing of saying people trying to say they are South Africans and one is not South African, it's not going to work. At the end of the day, no one is going to do anything. South Africa is going to deport migrants that are not South Africans, and this has got people need to switch off their emotions and deal with the facts. South Africa is a country. South Africa is not a continent. If we know who's South African, we know who's not South African, and we know what it takes for someone to become a South African, even if they were not born in South Africa. At the end of the day, South Africa has got protocols and process in places to, like any country, like even Zimbabwe. So everybody in Africa cannot be a South African. I am entitled to my country because my 4 generations of my ancestors were born here. Probably can go back and back. I just don't know how far. But I am a South African today. Zimbabwe is Zimbabwe today. Mozambique is Mozambique today. Then the devils that were mentioned here, they went to Zimbabwe before Zimbabwe was even a country. So we cannot come here and try to claim that those are South Africans. No, we've got more Botswana in South Africa more than Botswana. But we are not going to say the Botswana that are in South Africa are the same with Botswana that are in Botswana. No, we've got more Basotho people in South Africa than Lesotho. We are not going to wake up tomorrow and say the Basotho Basotho people in Lesotho are South Africans. It doesn't work like that. I understand the economy of Zimbabwe is not doing good, but let's not try to act smart here. South Africa is still a country, and we as South Africans are going to do everything to protect our country for our kids and our generation. And Zimbabwean people are going to do everything to protect their country as they should fix it. And so stop coming with these Pan-African ideas that are not practical. They don't work.
Sir, I think there's something you are missing on the South African constitution, because I believe South Africa says South Africa is for all who live in it. It's one of South Africans say, they always say that. And remember something, if whatever you guys are advocating for, it's not going to work if your government, if your president is not actually standing up and say the same things with you. Because remember, He is going internationally and saying this is not right, this is not right, this is not right, and you guys are saying this is right. So as long as he is not actually agreeing with you, nothing will happen. It's just like you come to my house, you find my kids eating pap and salt. You don't ask them, why are you eating pap and salt? You ask the father, but daddy, can't you afford to buy kids meat? Why are kids eating without meat? So as long as you talk to my kids, you don't solve a problem. So by actual fighting with the Zimbabweans, you are not solving anything. And you are fighting someone who's really someone who's selling a broom.
Okay, Mr.
Can I
Nyandoro,
respond?
let's hear from VSA. We've got VSA who just joined us. Hello, please. Can you give us your contribution?
Okay. First of all, I was following the debate for about an hour now, and you guys clearly stating good points. But then I have questions on the drivers. You guys were listening. Well, you guys were listening. I think you were stating that drivers in South Africa are illegal, but then who's owning those transportation companies in South Africa?
Who is owning the transport companies in South Africa?
Yeah.
Hello. Can I respond? Should I respond?
Yes, sure.
You asked who's owning those trucks in South Africa?
The companies.
Was this your question? The companies. You asked who owns the companies. Why is that important?
Yes.
Before I carry on, before I continue answering you, why is that important?
It's important because from long way back then, our fathers used to work in South Africa. Our mothers used to go to South Africa to sell goods. South Africa is only a place whereby it's a port, it's a harbor, it's a place where everybody goes for trade. It's a road into the South African community.
Can I be clear? Can I be clear about one thing? You guys should know that we South Africans own South Africa. And
yeah, I think there's something wrong with your...
You guys are going to ask for it. At the end of the day, hello? Can you hear me now?
You are all clear? You are
yes,
all
we
clear.
can. You.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you now.
At the end of the day, South Africa is a country that belongs to South Africa. South Africa is not a playground for everyone in Africa, and we'll never accept that. South Africa stands as a sovereign country, and we've got our military. The brothers that Nyandoro said, he mentioned something about our government not standing with South Africans. There was a sense of truth in what he said. But have you noticed that the ANC is losing votes? There's a reason why ANC is losing votes. And ANC, remember, in South Africa, the people govern, unlike in Zimbabwe. In Zimbabwe, the party govern the country. In South Africa, the people govern, and the will is turning. In 2024, a party that is going to win South Africa is the party that stands on migration, not ANC. ANC is losing power.
Sorry.
That's the one that is allowed all.
That's South African politics. It doesn't have to do.
They working with
we Zimbabweans.
Corporations
We
that
don't have to do.
Want cheap labor.
Yeah, that's South African politics.
What are you saying?
That's South African politics. We don't care about which part is going to win in South Africa. It's not our problem. It's not our business. I'm saying South Africa from history. Mr. Nyandoro mentioned about history.
No.
South Africa is only the gateway. It's the southern gateway.
But you need to listen to me.
That's why we're talking about trucks. That's why we're talking about the port. That's why we import food. And we pay taxes.
Can I respond?
We pay taxes to South Africa. Why? Because Zimbabwe is a
Can I respond?
It's not only South Africa, Mozambique,
Can I respond?
Namibia,
Okay, wait a
Tanzania.
bit, Mr. Laws. Let him finish. Are you done, VSA?
I'm saying South Africa is only a gateway into Africa. It's only a path. And we are paying you for that. You're saying we're taking
Please, can I respond? I need to respond. I need
Yes,
to
sure.
respond. You
Let me
cannot
give
you can,
Brother Temba. Brother Temba, if something he has been,
but can I just say this, please? It's not fair. Let me just respond to this quickly.
Okay, go ahead. Okay.
Okay, you cannot ask me about the South African companies, which is South African politics, and when I respond, you say that's not your business. It's South African politics. Something doesn't make sense there.
That's why
You're not
I
making
asked you.
sense.
Okay. Now, if you go back to politics, I asked you which companies are owning those transportation.
I was coming.
Okay.
I was coming to answer you. I was
Yes,
getting to answer you. I
okay,
was
sure.
going to answer you.
Sure.
Yes, I was going to answer you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so which company is losing?
So, yes, when it comes to South African, when
Your network is very
it
bad,
comes
Lozi. I think you
to
can
South
refresh. I
Africa,
don't.
I'm
Lozi.
responding because more than yes. Hello.
Your network is bad. We cannot hear you, Lozi. JJ, welcome. Let's
Can
hear
you hear me
JJ
now?
while Lozi is fixing the network.
Can I come
JJ,
in?
hello.
Okay, guys, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so I wanted to. He was asking about the matter of trucks, né? About why other countries do have South African drivers. But last year, I remember it is true that there are other South African drivers in other countries. But last year, they were called, not they didn't go to those countries and they take those opportunities out of nowhere. In South Africa, it is happening like that, that people just come and take those opportunities from South African. And this is caused by those companies want to exploit those people, e.g. in South Africa, if you have to repay the 10K, I'm just giving an example, but you found that these companies don't want to employ South African because they will pay 10K. Got that 10K, they can employ 5 people who are illegally in South Africa because they can't go to police station to open a case against that company. So they'll pay them 2,000, 2,000, 2,000. I'm just showing an example. So you see, this is a matter that South Africans don't go to other countries illegally and take their job opportunities. They are being called. Last year, they released a statement that it was which country, I forgot the country, that they need South African drivers. And indeed, South Africa made everything so that they can go and work there. They didn't just go and take job opportunities like that.
Okay.
Let me just
Temba,
mention
let's
something
give the
here.
chance to Temba.
Yes, my sister. On this issue of trucks, I hear my brother there asking who are the owners of these trucks. You see, they are the people that are called investors. They might be people from Europe, they might be people from Africa.
Zimbabwe.
But they might be from Zimbabwe, from Mozambique. But when they come to South Africa to operate in South Africa, they have a social responsibility to develop the area they are operating on. They have a social responsibility to employ locals. You see, it does not matter whether they are from outside South Africa, but they have that social responsibility. So, for an example, here in Richards Bay Harbor, trucks come here to deliver a cargo. It might be coal and other stuffs. They go and fetch coal from Mpumalanga, from Newcastle, and come and deliver it here in the port of Richards Bay. So, mind you, they are operating within the country. They are not crossing the border. So now it does not make sense if they operate within the country, but they don't employ South Africans.
Point of correction.
Does not make sense.
Those same companies, they have the right to employ whoever they want to employ. There is an
No,
agreement.
No. That's false. According to the laws of South Africa, you have to employ
Laws.
60% of South Africans. According to South African laws, you have to employ
Okay.
60% of South
Yes.
Africans.
social
Yes.
responsibility.
According. Yes. I understand you. That's the same thing. Now we're talking about. I'm personally stating
Okay,
Zimbabwe,
comrade.
Zambia, and
Hello,
South
guys. Can
Africa.
I remove one person there? Can I remove one person so that I can add someone? Then they can come back later.
Okay,
Okay,
remove
let
me. I
me
want to sort
finish
out
and
my network.
remove.
You can
Okay,
remove
okay.
me.
Let
So
I
I'm
me
going
want to
to
finish
sort.
and
remove
remove.
Lozi. Okay, you can
Yeah.
exit
Yes,
Lozi. Thank you.
All right, Utemba. I was coming to the next point. There is a thing that we need to understand.
Okay,
Now we're
Toby,
talking as.
welcome.
I
Hello.
was coming to the next point.
Guys, I just want to listen from you whilst I'm out of the net. I just want to contribute.
Okay,
Hello.
you can make your contribution.
Yes. Do you mind? Do you mind if you can mute
Okay, I
others
will
so that
let
you
me
can
let me
listen to
mute
me?
others.
Yes.
Okay, that's
Yes,
okay.
guys.
Sorry,
Yes.
can I make one point and then I will go off one point and
Oh,
then
sorry,
I move
sorry,
out.
Toby. That's why let
I
him
can
finish. Then
allow
he goes.
others in. Yeah,
Okay,
I will make one point and move out. Ne?
okay.
My last point is on the issue of that money from the United Nations
Yes,
for
yes, yes.
refugees. Yes, on the issue of refugees, I think refugees should be grateful to South Africa because South Africa has really done better than many countries in terms of treating refugees. Because South Africa doesn't have refugee camps. People are just integrated into communities, whereas in other countries, there are refugee camps, people are in refugee camps. So on
Which
that
is
side, I
good.
think people should be grateful to South Africa for treating them like that. Okay.
Okay,
Thank you,
thank you,
sister.
Temba.
Please,
Okay, thank you
you
so
can
much.
take me
Okay,
out now.
okay, thank you.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you,
you,
sister.
Temba.
Please,
Okay, thank you
you
so
can
much.
take me
Okay,
out now.
thank you.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yes. How are you guys?
We are
How are you
fine.
guys?
You are following, eh?
Yes. Hi.
Okay.
Hi, how are you?
Yes. How are you guys?
We
We
are
are
all
good.
And
right, and you?
I'm fine. I'm very happy to hear that you decided to have this
We
discussion.
are all right, and you?
I'm fine. I'm very happy to hear that you guys decided to have.
Okay,
Yes,
go
sir, you
ahead.
can.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
We
Yes,
can.
sir, we can hear you.
Yes. Yes. Guys, I just want to say, as African down
Go
there,
ahead.
I just want to tell you how. Uh, I just I just want to tell you how uh, the Europeans decide how they see what is happening in South Africa, how they feel
Mm.
with what is happening over there. Listening to them from our workplaces, and they are describing South Africa as a very horrible country to go to invest. And I want to say to you, this is not good for Zimbabweans, this is not good for South Africans, and this is not good for Africa. What is needed is for all the Africans in South Africa, whether legal or illegal, to come together, identify where the problem is. From what we know, from what we read, and what we see, what is happening in Zimbabwe, in South Africa, Zimbabweans must start to realize that only South Africans can take them out from what is happening from their country. They must start coming together with South Africans and requesting help, assistance from the South Africans to fight what is happening back in their home. And I want to say to South Africans, don't kill Zimbabweans. Please start grouping yourself to assist them. Shelter them like what the Europeans are doing here, sheltering the Ukrainians. Okay? And assist them to fight ZANU PF. What is been happening for all along is the politicians in South Africa, they were working with the corrupt politicians in Zimbabwe to loot out the resources of Zimbabwe. ANC and its government and all other what I can call capitalists in South Africa, they are benefiting from the situation in Zimbabwe. Mbeki, as the president, he was the first one to go and trigger that move when he called for quiet diplomacy. And at the moment, 90% of the retail industry in Zimbabwe is controlled by South Africa. The biggest platinum mine in Zimbabwe is controlled by ANC, if you don't know. So what is needed is that you, the poor men, who is killing each other, start organizing yourself and work to take the poor men from Zimbabwe to get out of the mess where he is, so that he can go back home and work home. And I can assure you, South Africans, you will migrate to Zimbabwe looking for work in Zimbabwe if you don't work with the Zimbabweans at the moment. Assist the Zimbabweans to go back to Zimbabwe. Don't kill them. Help them to get out of there. Start shouting to your government to get out of Zimbabwe with their minerals. They are taking minerals from Zimbabwe. They are the ones benefiting with the whole retailing industry in Zimbabwe. If today the whole Africa and say to you, South Africa, we are going to tell your investment to get out of Africa, South Africa will collapse. All these jobs which they are fighting, they will never see them again. So you, my brothers who are down there, I want you to start identifying the real problem, the real cause of the problem, and work together. Zimbabweans start asking help from South Africans to say, help us, we want to go back home. You can't be there forever. The resources are not enough to feed all of you. It is possible to remove borders. I want to answer that because 27 countries in the European Union, they've got more population than the Southern Africa. Only the Southern Africa. But it's who is on top, who managed the migration of people, who managed to make sure the people are getting jobs. These are the problem which we must start dealing with. Rather than fighting to say, go back to your Africa. Here, I can tell you that I was so shocked when the first time 20 years ago, when I started to arrive in UK to work over here, that the people, the children don't know the difference between South Africa and Zimbabwe and South Africa and Nigeria. They don't know that different. They just know that there's Africa. Children who are educated here, they don't know much about Africa. They don't know about it. Even now, when people are burning like this, they are Nigerians, Zimbabweans, South Africans, they're just laughing at us as one people. But back home, you are dividing yourself. Who is that investor who's going to come to South Africa when they see people being bent? They look at how you solve the solution. How do you solve the problem which you have? Then they know they are working with reasonable people. Zimbabwe is a sleeping giant. South Africa protects Zimbabwe. Start working with the Zimbabweans and help them. Zimbabweans stop taking South Africa as a heaven. Start asking help from South Africans to fight your country. Then after that, we can remove the borders. At the moment, I know, because you don't have the people who can remove the borders at the moment. You don't have the old people with big stomachs. They cannot run Africa for you because they don't know, they don't have the future for tomorrow. But in Europe, it's possible. UK is feeling now the heat. They are feeling to go back to European Union because they think they can do it on their own. But it's impossible. Prices of goods are skyrocketing this side because we are out of European Union. But European Union, life is good within the European Union. They are managing their people. No one asks you passport. As long as you've got your identification, you get into aeroplane, you go up and down.
Okay.
You understand what I mean? So guys, this thing of fighting, this is Zimbabwe, this is in South Africa, it doesn't help Africa as a whole. Identify the problems and fight together for your problem.
Thank you, Miss Timchuni. Thank you. Sorry, not Sorry, sir. Thank you, Mr. Kobe. Sorry. Mr. Nyandoro got something to say, and I'm going to open the mic for Lozi as well. Mr. Nyandoro, please go ahead. Thank you. Sorry, sir. Thank you, Mr. Kobe. Sorry. Mr. Nyandoro got something to say, and I'm going to open the mic for Lozi as well. Mr. Nyandoro, please go ahead. Unmute.
Ordinary South African.
Hello? Hello?
Okay, let's go.
Hello?
Let's go, Mr. Nyandoro first.
The South Africans that he's saying you must start working with, they will not help to change the situation of Zimbabweans. Remember, it's just a minority South Africans that needs to understand Zimbabwe. If you remember last time, they sent a crew to Zimbabwe with the defense minister. They just go there to stay in the hotel and see ZANU-PF and come back. So the South Africans, the ordinary South Africans, they feel like we don't want to work with them. But the thing is, we want to work with them, but they also do not have help toward the Zimbabwean situation. Their government is actually letting Zimbabwe down. And the other thing, if I can tell you now, South Africans, the older South Africans, they are the ones who are giving Pakistans their land to rent their shops, to rent their houses, Zimbabweans to rent their shops. When we rent their shops and we prosper, it's a problem again. I'm paying rent. We did not come here with land. So why are you guys giving us your shops and we start running them and tomorrow you come and fight us? You are the ones who are giving us and we are paying you for that. So I really don't understand. If it was that we bring shops from Zimbabwe and bring them in South Africa, then you can say, yeah, they must take back their shops. We are coming here with nothing. We just identify a neglected building and you charge us exorbitant rentals. We pay the rent and in 6 months' time we are up, you come and fight.
Hello.
Okay, let's
Hello?
hear what Lozi has to say about what you have said about identifying buildings. You pay high rents, and then when you're successful, you then come and get attacked. Mr. Lozi.
Look, my sister, I'm not gonna go back and forth with this petty talk. This talk where they're just trying to belittle South Africa. It doesn't even make sense because Black South Africans, as we speak, they hold the most wealth in Africa ahead of all blacks. Other blacks fall behind Black South Africans. So let's talk facts and stop being petty and trying to belittle South Africans. It doesn't matter if you come to South Africa and realize that there's a building that is standing there that is being forgotten and you're hijacking. At the end of the day, South Africa belongs to South Africans. South Africans themselves, if they organize and come together in numbers and say, we don't want this, nobody can do anything. We can talk all night here as much as we want. Nobody will do anything if South Africans say they don't want that and that, not even our own government. Remember, even Mandela himself, he said, South Africa is governed by the people, not the political parties. That's a Zimbabwean thing. We can turn a wheel anytime. And I like the fact that you guys need to keep piecing us. Our people are going to turn the wheel anytime. So this idea that South Africa is open for everyone, it's going to stop. And it was never like that. Each country has got its own mandate to look after its own people. We come here every day to discuss South African government. When are we going to discuss the government of Zimbabwe, which has totally failed its own people? And it's the reason why we are here. The entire mess of Zimbabwean government, when Mugabe and his people started to chase the whites out of the country, South Africa was not involved. Why are we involving South Africa today? So this whole South Africa has helped Zimbabwe. How many years have Zimbabweans lived in South Africa? We come here and say as if South Africa is not a good host. South Africa is hosting the largest African immigrants in the entire world. We are actually basically better than any African country you can think of. If any African country can just host even 50% of immigrants that we are hosting, you will see war there. They are fighting tribal wars among themselves. But we come here, we want to act like we are holy. South Africa is the only country in Africa where you find people of all 53 nations residing in South Africa, of all kind of social ills. We're talking about poor people leaving their country to be in South Africa. We're talking about middle class leaving their country to be in South Africa. We're talking about the rich elites leaving their country to be in South Africa. But all we get here, we come here on social media, people talk as if South Africa is the worst country, but they keep running to South Africa. So we need to start talking with facts and consider what South Africans are talking about, especially Black South Africans. We make large numbers. Keep being cocky, keep being arrogant, thinking that you got control over what we decide. I'm telling you, 2024, we are going to decide the future of our country, and we're not going to listen to anyone. This is the future of our country, and the only way Africa is going to rise, it's if every and each African work work to build their countries. I'm not saying only Africans should stay in their country of birth, but when we migrate, let's be fair. We're not gonna take half of population of Zimbabwe to be in South Africa, half population of Nigeria. We have resources to look after the entire continent. That's a fact. And now our people are feeling the heat. Someone came here and mentioned UK, the European opening their border. Have you looked at the GDP per capita of UK? Have you looked at the economy of UK? Those countries are rich. They've been looting the entire world for the past 500 years. They rich. We cannot afford to open our borders. We open our borders with fucked up neighbors like what? Malawi, Zimbabwe, Mozambique. Everybody's gonna come here. It's gonna take more than 100 years for Africa to relax their borders. And South Africa, if South Africa is to open their borders, this country will ban. The people won't allow that. We are not for that. We are for open trade. People keep on confusing open trade with open borders. We are for intercontinental trade. We are not for that open border stupid idea. We're going to see chaos in South Africa. We're not for that. We don't stand for that. And people are not going to decide for us as South Africans what must happen in our country. We will decide for ourselves. That's it.
Someone is asking you, can you please comment on Durban Indians who are also illegal? I don't know. And VSA, I'm going to unmute you, okay?
Sure.
VSA, your mic is unmuted.
All right. So what I'm saying is, guys, this is an issue.
There's the Indians that are there's two types of Indians in South Africa.
All right. What I'm trying to say is, this is us as Southern Africans and as Africans in broad. Let's fix ourselves as the normal people at basic at root level. I'm saying let's not fight each other because of the government. Like the government in South Africa, like it has to do with South African people. Basically, the government in Zimbabwe, like Zimbabweans will fight their own government. South Africans will fight their own government. That's an internal issue. But what I'm saying is like, let's work together. Let's work together. We're talking about an issue where we don't have borders here, and then I've been following this debate. It's like, okay, Zimbabweans are coming into South Africa. They're taking our jobs and stuff. And Zimbabweans are saying, South Africans, you are coming into our country. You're taking our job. Guys, it's like which which age and which century are we living in now in? I mentioned it a point earlier on. I was saying South Africa is a gateway to trade. And that's my point. A gateway to trade, it means a Nigerian can come to South Africa, abide by the South African laws, respect the South African people, and a South African can as well go to Zimbabwe, can go to Nigeria, can go to Tanzania, and as well as work with the locals. But now, the thing is, what's happening in South Africa, it's not because there are a lot of Zimbabweans that are there. And just because there's the heat, like South Africans are thinking, my personal point is like South Africans are thinking Zimbabweans are going to South Africa because their country is poor. And then they're now coming to South Africa and taking our jobs and stuff. It's not the issue of us at grassroots level. Why wouldn't we work together? Okay, as my Zimbabwean brother opened a shop. Okay, why can't I go and work in my Zimbabwean brother's shop? And he being the boss of me, I'll make money. Why can I not go to Zimbabwe and then work in a Zimbabwean store? Why is it the Indians are doing it? Why is it the Chinese are doing it? Why is it other people are doing it and we are not doing it on our own? That's my question, and that's my point.
Thank you so much.
Okay, can I please respond to that?
Okay, please
I
go
hear
ahead.
you, VSA. Ne? Everything that you have been saying is true, but we are shying away from that. It's not like South Africans don't like foreigners or illegal foreigners, like foreigners. The problem here is when people come and don't respect the laws. I will show you this. In Sunnyside, Pretoria, as you said, you are South African, you know very well that there are some places that you, as a South African, you cannot go because they are Nigerians. You know that when you go there, you'll be kidnapped. And what is the government doing? Nothing. And as a people, we are getting angry and angry each and every day, and we have to act because the government is doing nothing. So there is no way that people from outside come to South Africa and boss South Africa. Imagine that people from outside are coming to South Africa first, they are illegal in South Africa, but as South Africans, we have to change direction when we have to go other ways. You understand? So another thing is when you check, people are saying that South Africa is killing Zimbabweans. People are saying that South Africans is killing illegal immigrants. Do you think that as a normal person, a South African can just wake up and go and kill? There's no way. So you see, the problem is that we don't, as African, other Africans are saying that South Africa kills people, but we don't want to check the root of the problem. There's no way South African can just wake up and go and kill a person. What's the real problem there? Every time when South Africans kills another South African, the media doesn't, you won't see a fire on social media. When a Zimbabwean or an illegal foreigner kills South Africans, you won't see anything happening. But now, when South Africa has to act, all other African countries, South Africa is cursed. South Africa is this and this and that. Why? Because each and every time South Africans do something to illegal people, it gets attention. But when those illegal people do something to South Africans, nothing is being done. So how must people act now? Because South Africa will be angry. South African will become angry and angry to a point where South Africa is in drought, and immediately one person starts. You will see the xenophobic attacks of 2008 because no one is giving attention to South Africa of what they want. And South Africans, as I said, it belongs to South Africans, not our government will have to control us. No, if the government doesn't want to act, we will act. Thank you.
Nyandoro, Miss Nyandoro. Okay, sorry. So let me unmute you, okay? Go ahead.
Like he's saying, if really South Africans want to work with the Zimbabweans, all these organizations like Dudula and all the other organizations, why then they didn't actually call for Zimbabweans, whoever foreigners, to have a meeting together and understand exactly why are they here and how can they help them before attacking them, asking them, guys, okay, how are you here and why are you here? So that we end up working together. It's very easy for me as a Zimbabwean to identify someone who is illegal and actually tell the relevant authorities if everything is done in the right manner. But if you start fighting and beating each other and claiming that someone is taking a job, I don't know other industries, but I can tell you here in South Africa, most of the industries, people, they get paid the same rate that everyone is getting. I don't know with others, if they are there where people are not getting the same salary. But why can't we just make like a group of foreigners and South Africans to do like everyone and listen to each other and actually listen? Do really these people need to be in South Africa? What is it that is causing them to be in South Africa? Because I can tell you, there are some people who are just coming here from Zimbabwe. They don't even know where they are going. They don't even know what they are going to do. But there is something which is causing it. Of course, it's them who is supposed to fix their government. But guys, let's be honest. It's not easy for just an ordinary person to go and fix and talk to the government. You cannot. I think there are so many people who we had never even had the chance to be even 1 kilometer next to the parliament. So, I mean, let's be real. People have got a genuine cause, like Nhlanhla, you've got a genuine cause, like what I was saying. You've got a genuine cause. It needs to be addressed. They need to actually listen to that young man and actually he contribute to them, those, because at the end of the day, even him, he needs support for whatever he's advocating for to actually come right, he needs support from the same government that we are talking of.
Can I respond to my sister in respect?
Okay. Yes. JJ, are you
Look,
there? Okay, go ahead, Lozi.
what I hate most about these kind of panels, especially when Africans are discussing the issues in South Africa, we always approach this issue as if South Africa is a primary source of the problem. Remember, South Africa is a secondary source of the problem here. The problem starts in the countries where these Africans come from. The other Africans running to South Africa come from. So if we're going to always keep on addressing the root, I mean, the branch where the root is the problem, we're not addressing it. That's a big problem. Now, the Zimbabwean brother there will ask us, South Africa needs to intervene and help Zimbabwe. Remember, Zimbabwe is also a sovereign state. There is laws that are governing sovereign states, and these laws are written by the powerful nations like UN, right? South Africa cannot just wake up and turn a wheel in Zimbabwe. The same brother from Nigeria will ask us, can South Africa change Nigeria? The same brother from Congo will ask us, can South Africa do the same? Burundi, Togo, you name them all. South Africa is a one country. We need to take responsibility as a continent, not push everything down South Africa. It's becoming a burden to us. It's becoming a burden to every South African born that we have to carry the burden of Africa. We are blamed left, right, but no one is addressing why South Africans are running to South Africa in millions in the first place, whereas South Africans are not doing the opposite. The issue, South Africa is a secondary problem. The primary problem is African countries and their leaders. That's what we should also look and discuss. Not always South Africa, not always South Africa xenophobia, this and this. Xenophobia is the outcome of the problem, it's not the root.
Okay.
All right, I have a point to add. Sorry, Miss Haas, I have a point to add on that. I agree with my brother here. But now, South Africans are carrying the burden on their own. Why can't we carry this burden as normal people? You still remember, like, let's get back into history. Southern Africa. That's why we have this community of SADC. And I personally believe like everybody in SADC is willing to work with South Africa. Why? Because like South Africa is like the connection, and like just because you are the connection, everybody's rushing to South Africa because like the Americans go there, the English people go there. They is the World Trade Center of African unity. That's why everybody's rushing there. That's the root problem. And because we don't have anything in our homes, and we need to go where the cream is. The cream is there because we, the African brothers, are contributing to the South Africans, to the South African economy. That's why everybody's rushing there. But now South Africa has a problem. And this problem, South Africans are saying, oh, we can fix this problem on our own. Why can't you say, okay, you guys are coming here? I would personally say this from a Zimbabwean perspective. No Zimbabwean who works in South Africa legally would allow an illegal Zimbabwean to work in South Africa because Zimbabweans know the law. And most people who go to South Africa and work illegally, it's because they went there to work illegally. And if I am a Zimbabwean brother working in South Africa illegally, I would also allow somebody to come there illegally. But if I'm working there illegally, I would know the proper channels and I would try to do the proper channels. So what I'm saying is, I'm advocating for something. Let's do something as normal people, as like from grassroots level. Let's do the proper channels. Okay, we know the laws of South Africa. All right, if you want to come to South Africa, do your work permit. Do whatever you need to do. Do your papers. Do your papers up front. Do all the stuff you need to do. That it's simple. We can do this, and then it doesn't mean that because the problem is in South Africa now. It doesn't mean that there are no illegal South Africans in Zimbabwe. It doesn't mean that it doesn't mean there are no illegal foreigners in Zambia, in Nigeria. It's only just because the heat is just starting in South Africa, because it's the hub. It's where everything is happening. But then if you want to go like around, you want to trace, it's happening everywhere, from Southern Africa to Central Africa to Middle Africa, even up to Ethiopia. The media doesn't focus on this, just because South Africa is the hot pot of that's why you guys are in BRICS. Why is it that South Africa is in BRICS? Why is it South Africa, the economy is rated with most of the bigger economies in the world? It's because it's the connection point.
Yeah, but my guy, can I respond? Can I just respond to that? Look, at the end of the day, I understand what you're saying, right? I understand the system was set earlier or in South Africa, even infrastructure-wise, through colonial. I understand that. But look, let's look at the model of Namibia and Botswana. They are standing. They still depend on South Africa, but they're not burdening us with certain responsibilities. It's all about the issue here is the government of Zimbabwe has failed Zimbabweans. The government of South Africa is the most powerful government in Africa. We obviously, all of us, we think the government of South Africa should have done its role in making sure that Zimbabwe stand, because if Zimbabwe doesn't stand, just like Mozambique, they're gonna affect South Africa. They gonna, just what's happening. When Zimbabwe was doing well, Zimbabweans were not running to South Africa in millions. We can agree to that. Currently, South Africa has been issuing letters to USA to consider the sanctions in Zimbabwe, the current sanctions in Zimbabwe. Those are not, the sanctions have been going on for the longest time. And South Africa can turn a wheel in Africa, because I don't think there's any African country that can afford to vote against South Africa. So there we've got a privilege to play and stand against USA and say, look, it's done now. It's over with the sanctions in Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe needs to be lifted, because that's going to benefit South Africa as well. And when Zimbabwe,
that's why I mentioned BRICS. Why is it South Africa is in BRICS?
BRICS it's a whole different ball game. The BRICS
playing a bigger part.
The BRICS is more of the communist side. It comes back even in apartheid, where Russia, China, just Cuba is not there, but those countries like Russia, China, and India, they did support South Africa. So their relationship dates back. It has got nothing to do with the Western. Remember, the problem is the Western here. The problem is the Western holding African countries ransom, those that don't agree with them. South Africa has played a careful card. We played our cards carefully since 1994, but we are also under pressure. They are watching us. At the moment, we also went neutral on the issue of Ukraine and Russia. That's going to have an impact on us in the near future, especially if Russia loses everything. So you need to consider both sides. So we need to push fast now by removing the sanctions in Zimbabwe, because that's going to benefit us.
Then how are you going to do that if you're burning Zimbabweans? That's my point.
What?
Let's work together.
What are you saying?
Like, if you're going to remove some sanctions in Zimbabwe, why burn Zimbabwean people? Like, let's work together.
That's the most irrational thing to say. That has got nothing to do. We are talking at the government level here. Why is our government of South Africa burning the government of Zimbabwe? What kind of reasoning is that? You are not reasoning straight. We're talking about government collaborating with the next government. We're not talking about individuals that are doing crime. Why are you reasoning like that's not?
If I'm saying Malema, I'm saying okay, let's do it. All right, let's talk. I personally, I'm not South African, but I support the Malema point of view. It's like South Africa is for South Africans. Now I've been watching statistics, and I don't know how true this is, but then from these social media things that I've been seeing, they always saying like 5% of the South African land is owned by Black South Africans, and the rest is owned by whether Indians, whether those other. And I was angry personally. That's why I'm saying, like,
look. Can I respond to you? Because that's just fresh. That's like propaganda. The largest portion of land in South Africa, it's owned by South African government, and it was always like that even during apartheid. The second largest owner of land in South Africa, it's our chiefs and kingdoms through the tribal home owners. White South Africans own the largest land in farming land, where the production is happening, and they also own large land in where the economic hubs are happening, like closer to the cities. There is no, you can go through Google and everywhere. There's no information that cites that white South Africans own 70% of the land. That's nearly impossible. And remember, South Africa was never entirely colonized because Black South Africans are one of the most resilient blacks in Africa. We literally fought so many wars with the colonizers, and some of them we won. So there was never a point where they just took the land of South Africa like open like that. It was the war. They took as much as they can, but some land they couldn't take. So the largest land in South Africa is owned by the government, the tribal authorities, and then the whites, they own land where the economic activities are happening. They own large land there. Here's the thing. The other thing I need to mention with you, to my African brothers, Johannesburg Stock Exchange is the largest stock exchange in Africa, JSE. Black South Africans control more than 35% of direct investment there. That's the most wealthiest investment portfolio in Africa. So we need to start doing proper research and not take what is there to make us feel good, because most Africans, they try so hard to belittle South Africans. They desperately want to believe these things. It's not true. It's just not true.
Okay, Mr. Nyandoro.
Yeah, I think the gentleman must actually do proper research. There is no sanctions in Zimbabwe. Collapse of Zimbabwe is nothing to do with sanctions. You must do proper research and leave the propaganda of ZANU-PF. There is no sanctions in Zimbabwe. The sanctions in Zimbabwe are targeting individuals, which has got nothing to do with Zimbabwe. You must understand that. So don't go about saying they must remove sanctions. There's never been sanctions in Zimbabwe. And for all fact, there's the ZANU-PF is the one which called for sanctions. If you remember, if you know history, it was Edson Zobo who called for sanctions against Ian Smith. So sanctions is not something that just come yesterday.
Nyandoro, I think you don't understand. I think you don't understand how the Western works. You need to be careful with what you just said.
No. It seems you don't understand what is happening in Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is leadership crisis. It's not about sanctions. It's not collapsing because of sanctions.
Zimbabwe is not directly open to trade with every country. What the Western does is that they tell you that we have sanctioned your leaders. They sanction the people who are most powerful, who's supposed to be moving goods out of your country. How's that?
Those who were given sanctions in Zimbabwe, they deserve it. They're the thieves of Zimbabwe. People who are stealing from the Zimbabweans. So they deserve to be given those sanctions. And remember, Zimbabweans are flooding in South Africa because it's the government of this country which actually opted to give them free permits. And people, they flock in here. If you remember the ZEP, they were giving to people. Didn't you guys sit down with the government and ask them, why are you giving the people this ZEP? This is the only, like you were saying, South Africa is the only good. South Africa is the only country which is flooded by foreign doctors. South Africa is the only country which is flooded by foreign teachers. South Africa is the only country which is flooded by foreign technicians and all other people. So you must understand what you are saying.
Where are you getting this information from?
Go to Bara and count how many Nigerian doctors are there. Count how many Zimbabwe doctors are there. I mean, you live in South Africa, but it seems you don't know what is happening, bruh.
My brother, it looks like you are only focusing on how thing. We are talking about the entire.
No. You go anywhere. You go to Zeras. You go anywhere. Most of the doctors are Zimbabwe. There are South African doctors outside. You remember South African doctors, when they graduate, when they start working, they go out. Most of South African doctors are out of South Africa. That's why you're having foreigners.
Almost, that's a lie. Most of South African doctors are outside.
I'm sorry. I have a point to make. Do you know what happens in Zimbabwe? The people, what we say as Zimbabweans, we are the most educated people in Zimbabwe and in Africa, and that's true.
It's true.
What happens in Zimbabwe is when everybody graduates from the University of Zimbabwe, we seem to seek for greener pastures.
Yes.
And greener pastures are either in the United Kingdom, in China, or in South Africa.
Oh.
That's true. I'm stating facts here. As a family man, if my kid graduates in Zimbabwe, just because we that's an internal issue, our government has failed us. Okay, good, but then I still have to provide for my family. I would wish for my family to have a brighter future. That's why we have doctors graduated from the University of Zimbabwe. It used to be the University of Rhodesia, Nyasala, and like way back. These are institutions that are recognized world over. Why is it the United Kingdom asked doctors from Zimbabwe? Why is it our educational system is super strong? Just because we provide I would say cream. We provide the best. And then the reason that what Zimbabwe is now failing is because all of the people, like look at the people who are in the UK, look at the people who are in the world over. I'll just say world over. Most Zimbabweans world over, they are the most educated. All right, I'll talk about ESCOM. Let's talk about South Africa. ESCOM. How did ESCOM go to South Africa? It's because of strife. He couldn't invest in Zimbabwe, but South Africa had what he needed as a businessman. Look at Nigeria. We're talking about the same ESCOM. He's the same man from Zimbabwe, the man an engineer who started his own business in Zimbabwe, and Zimbabwe didn't have the basics that he needed for him to prosper. So as a businessman, he needed to go to find places where he would prosper as a businessman. Now we talk. Now we here we're talking about the government, guys. It's not about the government. It's about us as basic people. Let's not like talk. This government is bad. This is not our issue. My point is this is not our issue. As people, let's just work together. You would say like, okay, why is it Zimbabweans are getting more jobs in South Africa? Because they are good drivers. Okay, because why is it Zimbabwe doctors are getting jobs? They're paying because they are good doctors. Why is it the South African government is employing them? It's because they're good doctors. Why is it the English government is employing them? Why is it the American army now is employing Zimbabweans? Why? Why is it they have these channels? It's because Zimbabweans they have this thing. I'm saying as South African, if South Africa would say, okay, my Zimbabwean brothers, let's work together. We don't have a border issue. My Zambian brother, we don't have a border issue. We have great people. We have the system. The system is
Okay.
us.
Okay. So I have heard you. I think right now I'm sure in the panel. I'm sure the people I have, Ms. Nyandoro and Vese, I think JJ, I'm not sure where JJ is from, is Zimbabwean. Now, looking at this problem, of course, now from this panel, we are talking about the issues that are happening in South Africa, how the South Africans are doing A, B, C, D. But now looking at Zimbabwe on its own, right? Here where I am, we are almost midnight. It's 18 April. 18 April is the independence of Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is turning 42 years on the 18th of April. My time is already 18 April, right? So here's the thing: 18 years later, and we are still Zimbabwean. We're still seeing Zimbabweans, fighting for their what? For their to have a right to work in South Africa, to stay in South Africa, and everything. 42 years into independence, guys. Mr. Nyandoro.
Oh wait. Sorry,
To
Mr.
be
Nyanya.
honest, to be
Sorry,
honest
Mr.
with you,
Nyanya.
Okay, Mr.
Sorry,
Nyandoro,
Mr.
just
Nyanya.
give me a minute, okay? Go ahead,
So,
Vese.
all right. It's not we are fighting for something. Zimbabweans scattered all over the world. We are independent because we have this. Zimbabweans have this love for their country. Even me, like I have my love for my country. Even if I spend 40 years in a foreign land, I'll still come back to Zim. Even if I spend 40 years not in Zimbabwe, but I know what's happening in Zimbabwe day to day. That's why we have this social media booming in Zimbabwe. Everybody's following. We have Zimbabwe is not the place. Zimbabwe is the home. It's the heart that we have. I can have my family suffering Kubikita. I can have my family suffering there. But then the love that we have for all, why is it you're talking about independence now? Like, and everyone, like, look at all those people who are out of Zimbabwe. They would still celebrate Zimbabwe and they will still bleed. Do you still know Taiwan Magala, guys? Because Zimbabwe, if we had a gala, as an independence gala, live stream, just Ziggy, you are a social media person. Just try to see the following. Why is it the international community is focusing so much on Zim? We are bleeding for our country, and we need our country to, and we have everything, and we need a chance. It's only that we don't have a chance, but we have everything. I'm telling you. So that's my point. And then for Zimbabwe, for the independence, I'm telling you, everybody's most of the things I wouldn't say much, but then I'll tell you, every Zimbabwean bleeds for his country.
So what could be the lasting solution to this problem that we are seeing happening in South Africa?
No, the lasting problem is there. You know what is happening? Let me start. The problem is South Africa, they just did their things unprofessionally. Remember, they give people permits, ZTP. They did not even announce within the period of 3 months to give them notice. You know what? By the end of 3 months of your permits, we are not going to renew them. They kept quiet until the last day. And when they realized that, okay, they did something wrong, they said, okay, we are giving you a grace period for a year. Okay, Zimbabweans, we said, okay, that's fine. We are still in the grace period, and the Dudula things and all these people are starting. Why can't they wait for the grace period that we agree with their government? Then we'll see what we can do. Because honestly speaking, home is best. We don't enjoy being in South Africa. That's one thing these people miss. We need to go home. So they must just be patient. We're given a grace period by the government of South Africa, and then let's see what will happen after the grace period. Then we'll go back home. Of course, we were made fools by them giving us permits, thinking that maybe they will give us permanent citizens and all those things. But they changed their stance. It's fine. We accepted it. So why are they bullying us now? That is a problem. And if you look at it, it's not like all the Zimbabweans who are here, they just sleep in their houses, and then the employers will come to them. They wake up, go and look for jobs, and they do interviews and get the jobs. I can tell you, I am a manager where I am. If I interview a Zimbabwean and I interview a South African, I mean, really, even if I want to take a South African, you know, I've got a CV with me right now. This CV, the person is telling me that you've got 5 subjects. But when I read, you've got English, you've got Sotho, you've got Afrikaans, you've got Tsonga. What is that? Really, can I say this person? You are telling me that you've got 5 languages. I'm talking of subjects. So there are so many reasons why these employers also are not comfortable with them. You give them pay on a Friday. They don't come to work on a Saturday. They'll be drinking until the last cent. Then they'll come to work.
Yes.
In their own country.
Okay, I hear what you're saying, Mr. Nyandoro, and VSA. I also hear what you're saying, that no one wants to live their life outside of their home. Home is always the best, no matter what. So this is my thing to you right now. I'm saying to those, I hear you, many people are listening to you. I'm saying, what could be the lasting solution here? Yes, we know that there's a grace period that has been given, and the chances of people being given the permanent residence that people expected after staying in South Africa for more than 10 years, they've been killed. There is no that chance. They say they're going to only give you up to December to think of what to do. So what advice can you give to other Zimbabweans who are in South Africa? Okay.
The only way out is go back home, but we also need help from Southern Africa. to actually help us in reforms, electoral reforms, so that when there's election, we don't want a disputed election. If ZANU-PF wins, they win. If CC win, they win. We need help from all these African countries, because to be honest, political field in Zimbabwe is not fair. So we need that help. We need help from them. I mean, they are chasing us because they think we are just here to duck and dive. They don't know we are actually from a frying pan now into the fire. So we need help from them, from both African countries, to actually say Zimbabwe do electoral reforms, and then the people vote whoever they want. Then we must also all of us go home and vote.
Okay, so you're telling Zimbabwean guys, let's go home and vote.
Yes.
VSA, what advice do you have to Zimbabweans who are in South Africa, who are living in uncertainty, okay, looking at, what is happening now, and also that their permits are not going to be renewed after December, and many other things? What advice do you have for Zimbabweans?
I'm also saying, guys, let's go back home and vote. But then the thing is, as Zimbabweans, we have to stand strong. We have an internal issue, and then it's for us to solve. But then when we're out there, let's keep strong. We have the love for our country. Let's bleed for our country.
Okay, so I'm reading some comments here. Some people are saying, you Zimbabweans, you need to start asking for help from South Africans. Do you think that is possible? You live in South Africa. Do you think it's possible that you can ask for help from South Africans? And what kind of help? Do you think that is
Which South Africans are they talking of? Which South Africans? Because I cannot just talk from a ordinary South African in the street. What contribution does he give me? I mean, how they are talking of? Which South Africans? Because I cannot just talk from a ordinary South African in the street. What contribution does he
Okay,
give
I'm
me?
going to give. I'm going to mute VSA. I'm going to give Kobe the chance. Okay, Kobe, go ahead. You are the one who asked the question, I think. Okay, I'm going to give. I'm going to mute VSA. I'm going to give Kobe the chance. Okay, Kobe, go ahead. You are the one who asked the question, I think. Okay, I'm going to give. I'm going to mute VSA. Okay, Kobe, please, can you switch off one of your gadgets? I think you have got two gadgets that are on. So can you switch off one of the gadgets or just mute it? Because I can hear myself from here. Let me, in the meantime, open Nyandoro, or let me open VSA that are on. So can you switch off one of the gadgets or just mute it? VSA, go ahead.
Mute me for a moment. Mute me for a moment.
Okay, let me mute you. Kobe, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Mute me for a moment.
Yes.
Let me mute you.
South Africans
Kobe,
can.
are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. South Africans can play
Okay, go ahead.
South Africans can play a very important role to play. Yes, South Africans can play a very important role to liberate their fellow neighbor Zimbabwe. If you can remember very well, long back ago in 1992 and 1994.
Yeah, may you speak up a little bit?
If you can remember well, around 1992-93, that the Mangope government, how the Mangope government on all, if you can remember well, how all the Bantustan governments fall from 1991 up to 1993, including what happened in Mabopane and all that side of Mangope. Okay, you can see how South Africans can work. Zimbabweans and South Africans are quite different as far as the culture. The culture of Zimbabwe, it's a bottle culture, where they are not free to express because it's only one culture which is dominant in Zimbabwe. So yeah, it's a bottle culture. So one culture dominant in Zimbabwe as compared to South Africa. So South Africa can play a big, vital, important role to help Zimbabweans to liberate themselves, to help to pressurize their own government in South Africa to start also clipping the wings of Zimbabwean government, because what is causing people in Zimbabwe to come to South Africa is the brutality of their government back home. and South Africans are better placed to help the Zimbabweans. To help the Zimbabweans. If you can imagine that most of ministers in Zimbabwe, they get their medical attention in South Africa. And if South Africans can start blocking that, can South Africans also stopping blocking the businesses of all these corrupt ministers in Zimbabwe who are also trading between South Africa and Zimbabwe, having all the free passage across the borders and go back to Zimbabwe and sell products in exorbitant price whilst they are looting their own country and causing their own people to leave that country. There's a lot Zimbabweans can get from South Africans if they can request. Zimbabweans must just raise their hands and say to South Africans, guys, we understand where you are coming from. We came here as visitors, but we have overstayed. Please help us. This is why we are running away from our country. The help will come.
Okay, Mr. Nyandoro.
Because they've done it. South Africans, they've done it from 1991 up to 93. See how all the Mangope government fought. The Bandstein, Transkei, everything fall around. Yes.
Yeah, the problem is there's this hypocrisy with South Africans. If you can look at it from day one, Zimbabweans are crossing from Limpopo. Who is assisting them to cross? And when they cross, they come this side of South Africa. The South African soldiers, the South African police, but they are passing. And they even get into taxis to either Joburg, Cape Town, wherever. There is roadblocks. The police are assisting them. So these foreigners, they are getting assistance. Illegal people are getting assistance from South Africans. But a few who are not benefiting are the ones who are voicing. But a lot of those who are voicing, who are benefiting, like police, the government, and soldiers, they won't even say anything because they are actually benefiting out of it. And right now, if you look at it, South Africans are crying for Zimbabweans that they are taking their jobs. Okay, which is fine, they are taking their jobs. But then, which job were you fired? That, okay, we are firing you now today because you are employing a Zimbabwean. Did they actually come and remove you from where you were working? South Africans will never prosper because remember, they are violent people. Every time when there's a problem which needs to be addressed, they demonstrate, burn tires, demolish. You see what they did during that time of Zuma. How many people lost jobs? They actually destroyed a lot of things because of Zuma. So all the things that they work to actually repair. Every year, South Africans are destroying robots, are destroying roads, they are digging. They are violent people. And the media is actually the one which is making this thing worse. Because I remember some few months ago, there was a South African man who was found with the body of a woman in the fridge. It never circulated that if a Zimbabwean does such a thing. So you find they're getting the help of media to cover them on saying opposite things, not focusing on the reality.
Okay, Mr. Nyandoro, I'm going to come back to you. Oh, okay, I've lost you here. I've lost you, Julian. Julian, you can come in again. Then I'm going to aid you. Okay, I wanted to ask Mr. Nyandoro some questions, so please you can join again. Okay, as soon as you come in, I'm going to aid you to talk. Okay, now,
Missy, can I just add on what Mr. Nyandoro was saying?
Okay.
As I stated, my first point was who is employing these Zimbabweans? Which companies are running these transport systems, these hospitals? This is an internal issue. But then, as an ordinary South African, you cannot come and say, okay, just because I don't have a job, just because a Zimbabwean is working. I told you we have a history. When we grow back then, we used to have our mothers going to South Africa to sell those jerseys, everything. We used to have our fathers going to South Africa to drive those trucks. And this has been happening for a long time. And now it's not a thing that we can just wake up and say, okay, guys, Zimbabweans move out. Why is it there is a market in South Africa, and these South Africans didn't like utilize, like what Mr. Nyandra was saying? Okay, I'll take a CV. Even it happens not only in South Africa, in Zimbabwe. A South African comes, okay, if you're a doctor, and if a Zimbabwean like gives me a CV, I would not employ somebody because he is a Zimbabwean. I would like employ someone because he has the right qualifications for the job. I wouldn't like we are not mad. We Zimbabweans are, I would say, we are diplomatic, and we don't act just because we are angry or something. Zimbabwe has been suffering for a long time. We used to be the bread basket of Africa, but just because the way we solve problems, we have sanctions, we have whatever, our economy is not good, but we're still surviving. Why? Because we act diplomatically. And people are saying, remove ZANU-PF. Yeah, everything is happening diplomatically. We don't have to act. And if we don't have to act violently, it doesn't mean we're not acting. Everything is falling in the right way. There's a time for everything.
Okay, but sorry to cut you short. I just want to ask a question here.
Yeah.
Of course, we know that, we like the problem that we are facing right now that has brought us here is about, Zimbabweans who are in South Africa and, what is happening there. Okay. Still, I'm coming back with my question. Okay. For us to continuously, be dwelling on, South Africans are doing this to Zimbabweans, South Africans are doing this to Zimbabweans. Still, we are saying that it's not really yielding the desired results that we want. So my question to you guys is, what can Zimbabweans do, okay, for them to have a lasting solution to this problem? Because honestly, looking at what is happening, people are living in uncertainty. Life shouldn't be, you cannot live life, not knowing what is going to happen to you tomorrow, not knowing that when you come out of the house, what is happening, okay, such kind. So my question to us is that, what is supposed to be done? What can be the lasting solution? We want the lasting solution, not temporary. Negotiating with South Africans and everything is just temporary for Zimbabweans to be allowed to stay in South Africa. But until when? For how long?
This is an issue. I would say, Zimbabwe. I told you, we as Zimbabweans, we are not violent people. We are diplomats. For somebody to leave a child back in Zim, for a Zimbabwean to leave his rural area, his relatives, his whole family, just because to go in South Africa, it's either that person has passed his O level. It's because that person has studied a driver's license in Zimbabwe, not in South Africa, because he has studied for a certain thing to go and look for a job in South Africa. It's only maybe just because he has a driver's license, maybe he doesn't have the work permit. Now what I'm saying is, if you say, okay, let's provide a platform for all the Zimbabweans that are working in South Africa at the moment. If you're a chef, if you are a driver, if you are a maid, we'll provide the right solutions, the right platforms. We'll give you the platform to apply for work permit. I'll tell you, give me 2 months. See how many Zimbabweans will qualify for the right jobs. After that, if you don't qualify for the right job, go back to Zimbabwe. If I'm a Zimbabwean employee, I'll kick you back to Zimbabwe. But if you qualify for the requirements are simple. And most of the Zimbabweans, the thing that's making Zimbabweans bleed is because most of Zimbabweans, we have the right qualifications for the jobs, but we don't have the right platform. We don't know how to get a work permit. So if we have the right platform,
Okay, Mr.
Yeah,
Nyandoro,
and
what do you want to say?
yeah, actually, the actual remedy here, to be honest, we all know the reason why we are running away from home. That needs to be fixed. Like I've said before, we must vote and vote out because, like you were saying, for 2 years independence. What is it that we expect from ZANU-PF that they did not do in for 2 years? I mean, to be honest, why can't we just have a new player and see? Because even in soccer, if you have got your 11 players, if you see that someone is not playing right, you bring a substitute. Then the formation will change. I mean, really, to be honest, we've got a problem. We've got a big problem. For 2 years is too much. If it was like 8 years or 10 years, we can say for 2 years is a lot. And
Okay, Mr. Nyandoro, I'm
and
coming back to you. Sorry, my brother, to cut you short. Let's welcome Zupta. Thank you so much. Please give us your contribution.
Thank you. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we
yes,
can.
Oh, thank you very much, all of you. Yeah, I'm very interested in the topic. I'm South African myself, so basically, yeah. First of all, before I can start to say anything, I would like to say I'm sorry as a South African. So on behalf of all the South Africans, and yeah, for the death of Elvis Nyati, you see. So
thank
but
you.
Yeah.
first, yes, but first of all, I think we are missing the point by pointing the South Africans, really. So I want us to have a brotherly and conversation without emotions, because once we put emotions out of these things, we tend to miss the point, you see. First of all, we understand. As a South African, I've been to Zimbabwe. I understand the situation and I understand the sanctions and I understand what is happening in Zimbabwe. You understand? And someone else who has never been to Zimbabwe, you won't understand. You understand? But before I can talk about Zimbabwe or any of the we need to admit as Africans that we are failing. Our leaders are failing us. You understand? And South Africa, in terms of Africa, it's one of the countries that is actually better. And in South Africans, we have welcomed so many people. There are so many people that are living in South Africa, some legally, so some illegally, and we cannot ignore illegal immigrants. You understand what I'm saying?
Sure.
And then we really appreciate all the South Africans, and the reason why you see a movement like Operation Tutula is it has got more attention is because our government, they have forgotten about us. They don't want to listen to us. And we listen to people like Malema, of which Malema is actually, he wants, the way I see it, he wants South Africa to be like Zimbabwe. And then imagine if we have South Africa that is sanctioned, that is not functional like Zimbabwe. So it will be even worse, even for you guys as Zimbabweans. So I feel like most of the time when we're talking, when people are raising these issues, the media itself, they always say xenophobic. And then in most cases, it's not really xenophobic. We really need to go deeper and really understand because, guys, we have to be, if you remember very well, the xenophobic attack started when? In 2008. And if you go deeper, what was happening in 2008? It happens because of Zimbabwe. There was a sanction of Zimbabwe. And those are the things that we need to be really be honest to each other. You understand what I'm saying? South Africa as well, we need to say yes, we don't allow killings. But at the very same time, we must listen to these people from Deep Sloot. First of all, before they killed Ubaba Unyati, what happened before is that there was a Zimbabweans. According to what we heard, there was a Zimbabweans that killed some of the people who were living in Dobson, in Deep Sloot. But the media is not giving that attention. And there were 7 people already that died before Unyati. So what I'm saying is that the moment we, as you as Zimbabweans and us as South Africans, like you see now, there's so much division among these topics. There's so much. The Zimbabweans are big. And I understand why. The Zimbabweans are now with Unyati, and the South Africans now they are saying Tutula, Tutula. And it's because we are ignoring the genesis of the problem. The genesis of the problem is that our politicians, our government are dysfunctional, both the whole of Africa. I'm not saying South Africa is a saint here, but I'm saying that we must also listen to the people from the crowd. If the people are complaining, I heard people are saying last time when there was a xenophobic attack, the so-called xenophobic attack, people were complaining that Nigerians are selling drugs. Nigerians are doing this and this. And if you listen to the Nigerians, they were angry as well, and then they thought maybe South Africans they hate them. You understand? If your brother, as a Zimbabwean or as what, if South Africans are doing something that is wrong in Zimbabwe, we as South Africans we must stand and say no. It's not. This person must be isolated. We must not always protect the people. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. We must not always because there are some people right now they don't even know the genesis of what happened to Unyati, and they don't know even the story behind. You understand? And the media is the one that is fueling this. I'm telling you, because once the people listening and hearing people saying xenophobic, and people keep on saying we are not so xenophobic, we are against illegal, and we understand why there are some people, especially Zimbabweans, that are illegal in South Africa. But we need to sort of, and then even this thing of saying people are saying that we need to hire South Africans first. Complicated issue, but at the very same time, there is high unemployment in South Africa. South Africans are not working, and then whenever they see the Zimbabweans working, and then Zimbabweans calling South Africans lazy, you guys are lazy, you guys whatever, these people get mad. You understand what I'm saying? You can't come to my house and then you disrespect me. I'm not saying this in an anger way. I'm saying this in a brotherly way. You understand what I'm saying? I had people, especially Zimbabweans, saying that not Zimbabweans. I'll say Zimbabweans because I'm now in a conversation with a Zimbabwean. But I'm saying you had Africans every time when South Africans are raising, they're saying they are uneducated. They are uneducated. These people.
All right, wait. On that last point, are we not educated? We are educated. That's why we are flooding South Africa.
Okay, Mr. Nyandoro, Zupa, we have lost him. I think he's going to join again.
I think this gentleman is also misleading us here, because I stay forward some few meters away from where Elvis was killed. We have never heard where the funeral of the 7 people. At one point, they were saying 4, and we had never heard Zimbabweans who were caught killing those seven families. It's just a lie that was created. South Africa normally take things seriously. If there were 7 people killed, they should have actually already made it a state funeral. It's just a lie which is circulating about the Elvis story that there were 7 people killed, but we had never heard of the funeral of the people who were killed. And how do they know that there were Zimbabweans who killed them? Because they were never caught.
Okay, let me respond to that. Minister of Police and Minister of Home Affairs went there and they confirmed that indeed families did, there are particular people who died. But as I was saying at the beginning when I entered this session, I told you that when South Africans are being killed, social media they don't get attention. But when South Africans do something to Zimbabweans, they get attention. Even there are 4 Zimbabweans who are arrested, but you don't want to talk about it. Also, the Minister of Police said that himself, that there are 4 Zimbabweans who are arrested. So who are we to say that it's a lie? Because as I said, so when this thing happened to South Africans, no one says anything. Everyone acts like they are blind. But now, when something is being done to a foreigner, they act like, hey, South Africa hates those people. I will show you this. My brother was talking about people who are coming to South Africa and they tell them that they are uneducated. But when you check at education system, South Africa, out of the whole continent, is the only country that invest more on education. But at the end of the day, we'll be told that we don't have skill. How is that possible that South Africa, out of the whole continent, they invest more on education, but still they are uneducated, they don't have skill? How is that possible? So the government is trying, because they are seeing that they are failing to provide jobs for South Africans. That's the only way they say. That's the only thing they say. And other people from other African countries, they come and tell us that we are uneducated, what. But out of the whole continent, South Africa invest more on education. There's no even other country that is close when it comes to investing on education on African continent.
Point of correction. Point of correction. Yes, you invest more in education, but what's the outcome? What I'm saying is, like, when people, I told you, as an employer, when 2 people or when 3 people come for a job interview, you don't look at them as Zimbabwean or as Mozambicans. You look at the qualifications. Now, why is that Zimbabweans are getting most jobs as truck drivers in South Africa? Is it because they are Zimbabweans? Or is it because they can drive better, more than other people? Or is it because they have more experience?
Okay, let me
And I told you earlier on, most people who are living Zimbabwe, if you're a truck driver, you have experience, you have a defensive driver's license. That's why you would go to South Africa, and you have the confidence that you're going to get a job.
Okay,
but most people in South Africa,
and you get international driver's license. Zimbabwe is the only
Yes.
country which is giving international driver's license.
Okay, let me answer that.
Even before you leave Zimbabwe.
Let's hear JJ. Let's hear what he has to answer on that.
Okay, let me answer that.
Yes.
I told you when I got into this session, and I will say it again, that they employ more Zimbabweans and most of those who are illegal so that they can exploit them. This is not a thing that we have to discuss. Even yesterday, they arrested they found 2 companies that employed illegal immigrants, that employed more illegal immigrants than South African, and they found it was Zimbabwean. They didn't mention those these companies. So they are saying that they are still investigating. So how is that a discussion? We know very well that in South Africa they employ more Zimbabweans or more illegal foreigners just to exploit them. I explained this thing about trucks, that instead of paying, because they are afraid to pay more South Africans, they will exploit the Zimbabweans by paying them less. I will show you this example. Last month on Cape Town, it was Cape Town, Western Cape, Zimbabweans and Lesotho were fighting over jobs. Mind you, South Africans didn't even know about that job opportunity. So what does this mean? You see, it's because they want to exploit them. They were fighting over job opportunity. And South Africans didn't even know about that job opportunity because they want to exploit them.
Then why fighting a poor Zimbabwean? Fight the employer.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Why would you fight? And then there's this other point. Why are you calling them illegal? Like, do you have the proof to call them illegal?
Okay, I will say by this, even people hate Operation Dudula, but when Operation Dudula operate, they don't go around searching people with passport. But because as a people who is not South African, you will say they will go around searching people with whether they have passport or not. But Operation Dudula go with police, and those police are the ones who are doing that job. And at the end of the day, they found, in a day they can arrest more than 300. I will show you yesterday. Yesterday they arrested 200. Who are not don't have passport. So
that's why I said I told you it's not that just because they don't have passports or they don't have the legal documents. It's because of the South African system. The South African system doesn't give the proper way for them to have proper documents. Let's say interview those people. See, okay, you're working as a truck driver, right? You don't have the legal documents. I'll give you 5 days. If you give them
Yes.
5 days, or if you give them 1 day, why did you
Yes.
come to South Africa? I gave you a job. Okay, I came here to look for a job. Give me your documents. If they don't have the proper documents, I'm saying, okay, let them go back to Zimbabwe. I'm saying 90% of those people, they are qualified for those jobs. And they have the right experience for those jobs.
You can even go to those companies. Even I'm talking
now
about
we're going
things that
back to the companies. That was my first point. Who is employing them? Now, Operation July is supposed to be focused on the companies.
they are
not the
also
normal
focusing
people.
on the companies.
But now we're talking to normal people.
This is what I'm saying. The companies want to exploit those people. I'm not saying that South Africa want to exploit. Those companies are the one who are exploiting those Zimbabweans because they want to pay them less compared to South Africans because they know that they can, even though they exploit them, they cannot go to a police station, they cannot go to court because they are there illegally. So they are taking advantage of that. It's not that South Africans you don't want to be it's important to be employed. No, but
Let's be
do
rational here. Let's be
even
rational here. As an employer, you have a truck loaded at the moment. You have 5 minutes for the truck to leave. Then there are two people. One is coming from Zimbabwe, one is South African, and the South African is readily available. He has the same qualifications as the Zimbabwean who doesn't have documents. As an employer, who would you choose? A Zimbabwean without documents or a South African with documents? Same experience, same everything. Who would you choose as an employer?
as you know, as an employer, that according to the law, you have to employ the legal person.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And then you are saying they're exploiting them. They're exploiting them because an employer also, there's another point, efficiency, trustworthy. Zimbabweans are known for trustworthy. They are known for efficiency because they have the experience. They have the right documents. Why is it people are exploiting Zimbabweans? Why is it they're employing them?
They want to exploit them, as I explained, that if now as South African, they have to pay me 10,000 rands, but they found an illegal person.
For what?
So, if they want to pay me for my salary, they have to pay me 10,000 rand for my salary. But because there's an illegal person, it is easy for them to hire them and pay them 2,000 rand because they can't do anything. They are desperate because of the situation that is at home. So they can't do anything. They have to accept that little that they will be getting. So that is the problem.
From my experience, those are bogus companies. Remember, companies, they want documented people because they trust them over their assets. You cannot just take a person with no documents and trust him over your assets. So we are not talking of bogus companies here. We are talking of companies that employ people. We are talking of ministries like that employ doctors. You are telling us of bogus companies that doesn't want to pay. They don't afford to pay them. I mean, we cannot talk of minority here. We are talking of companies here.
It looks like you're only focusing on the public sector, and on the public sector, obviously they cannot be employed, but the majority that is employing people in South Africa is the private sector, and the private sector, that's the problem. You cannot hide away from that.
I'm saying the private sector, they employ people with the documents because they want to trust them with their properties.
That is why I'm saying, even if where I'm in now, there are people who don't even have documents that are my friends that are from Zimbabwe that are working. More than 50 of them are working, but when you check their wages, we'll see they are just being exploited here. It's not something that we have to go around to search. Even we know it as South African, and that's why we're saying that South Africa, it will be governed by us because they have to listen to us. If South African government doesn't want to act, it means that we have to act on our own because it's something that we see each and every day. But people act like we don't see anything. They are my
Yeah,
friends who are working, and they are working for this company. More than 50 of them. They are illegal in South Africa, but when you check their wage, you will see they are doing this for the
yeah,
sake
but
of.
you are being unfair to your
wait,
fellow
wait.
South Africans because me,
Is
even if
wage
I see a
based?
Zimbabwean who is not documented, I will make sure that it is either documented or go back home. So you are
Yeah.
seeing people who are not documented, you are leaving them. You are the one who are letting
Yes.
people down.
Yes.
How
That's
am
what
I
we're
the one
saying.
who is letting my people down? I'm saying that the people who are letting the people down is
Report
the
them,
government
report
by
them,
not
report
acting
them,
against those
report
companies.
them. Form Home Affairs in the private and tell them to come to your company and investigate what is
Yes.
happening. Take action, bruh.
That's the thing,
Okay,
bro.
so
That's what
Like
we are
sorry guys.
doing. That's what we are doing by taking
no, no,
Okay,
no, no, no,
action.
no,
That's
no,
what we
no,
are doing.
no,
You see, you are
no. What
telling
you're
us that
doing
we take
is
action, and when
vice
we take
versa.
action, we are being labeled as xenophobic. So you understand that is what
No,
we
no,
are
no, no, no,
doing
no,
by
no.
taking action.
The reason why you go xenophobic is because you're hitting them, you're killing them. But then, if you're telling them, okay, you're working at my company, you're going to tarnish my company's image because you don't have documents. Go to your boss. Okay, boss, I'm not going to work here because 1, 2, 3, report them. That's what we're saying
oh,
as Zimbabweans.
okay, so you guys, I'm talking to VSA and Mr. Nyandoro here. So you are also agreeing that if they found out that someone is undocumented, the South Africans, they've got the right to go and report the person, right? Is that what you're saying?
They have the
Yes,
proper
they must
channels.
follow the right channels. Yes, they must
They have the
report them.
proper
Right
channels.
channel. Yes,
Okay, they have to follow the proper channels to go and report an undocumented someone that they meet, right?
yes.
Okay, clear and loud. Okay, Zupta, go ahead. Let me unmute you.
Mr. Nyandoro, yes, can you
Hello,
hear me?
hello. Yes, I can hear you.
Mr. Nyandoro, Mr. Nyandoro.
Mm.
Yes, I want to actually
Yes,
respond to you, Mr. Nyandoro. I think you are, I think you are just being theoretically you are right, but practically you are not right. Let's go to the borders between South Africa and Zimbabwe. We know that there is somehow not a border. The border does not exist. Both me and
okay.
you, we know that if we arrest the Zimbabweans that are undocumented, I don't want to use illegal foreigners because it sounds insulting. Illegal, what you call undocumented migrants. Those people, if they
Yes,
arrest them today, tomorrow they're going to take them to where to deport them. Tomorrow they are coming back. These companies that we are talking about, my brother, we are talking about a lot of companies. The farms, most of the farms, they are illegal immigrants that are working there. Let's talk about the truck and drivers. The truck and drivers,
sorry, bruh.
because those guys, yes,
Sorry, bruh.
yes, yes,
How many South
yes.
Africans do you think they want to go and stay and work in a farm?
And many South Africans, my brother, many South Africans,
Sure.
so many. I'm 100%
Okay,
sure. I'm
okay.
100% sure that there is so many, my brother. Because I mean, if have you ever been to South Africa?
I am here in 4 ways.
Oh, you are in 4 ways. Have you ever been
Yes.
to Alexandra or to those poor neighborhood and see how their state, how those
I
people are? Those people, they don't care about the jobs. If you go to Santen, because you are in 4 ways, Santen, most of the people that are living in in Tembisa and Alexandra, they're actually working for those companies. The kitchen girl, the garden
yeah.
boy, and whatever. But obviously now they also prefer Zimbabweans that are illegal because they give them half the price. If South Africans, the minimum wage is 2.5, let's say, which is nothing but 2.5. As Zimbabweans, they can give that person even 1,000 or 500. They don't mind because they come from a desperate situation. You understand what I'm saying? And then when we talk of the trucks that they were saying that they hire trucks and whatever, it's the very same thing. You understand what I'm saying? And to say that South Africa as a whole, South Africa has got about 60 million South Africans. When you say you have got quality, what you call, you said your truck drivers, they've got experience and all that. We understand, but even South Africans, there are South Africans that have got experience and all of that. You understand what I'm saying? But the companies prefer Zimbabweans because they are exploiting the Zimbabweans. That's a fact, my brother. And you know what I can tell you? Most of these people that they've hired, they are actually, it's not legally so. They're doing these things illegally so. And we know, and we can even show you where they are. And as a Zimbabwean, you must be honest. You understand what I'm saying? But we understand because of this is a situation of desperation. You understand?
Okay, can I ask you something? Can I ask you something? Okay.
Yes, you can come and comment, Mr. Nyandoro.
Yeah, let's leave the Zimbabweans first.
Yes,
let's talk of foreigners.
Yes,
there are
go ahead,
Pakistans who
Mr.
are running.
Yes.
The Pakistanis, they're not working anywhere. They come here, they come to your house and say, I see there's a building that is closed there. I want to open a tuck shop. And then you say, oh, I need 1,500. And then those people, they open and they start selling. And 2-3 months down the line, most of them, they're being killed in their tuck shops. And they are being told they are not supposed to operate those tuck shops. And you guys, if you really have a problem with foreigners, why can't you as a community say, okay, guys, when a lodger from Zimbabwe, Malawi, wherever comes to your house, before you give him accommodation, take him to police station for verification of his status. Because it must start with you guys without killing anyone. Find a system that you can eliminate foreigners illegally.
But Mr. Nyandoro, Operation Dudula, that is doing the very same thing that you are suggesting. You guys are labeling them xenophobic because they are doing exactly what you are asking.
I think you joined. I think you joined later. I said from the beginning, there is a group like Dudula. That guy for Dudula was not given an opportunity from the government to listen to whatever his idea of Dudula. They are just brushing him out. But you have got a fact that needs all hands to put together, sit down and listen to him. I said it before.
Mr. Nyandoro, I hear.
All right. So this is the thing. I think as Zimbabweans we get it. Okay, we are coming from a hot plate. But then our internal issues, we can fix them on our own. What I'm saying, as Zimbabweans who are out
okay,
there,
Mr. Nyandoro, I'm sorry, maybe I didn't hear you, but maybe you personally, but I'm saying generally. That's how. That's what I'm saying. Hello.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. I'm listening.
Okay. Go ahead, JJ. Are you there?
Yes, I'm still here. It's not like Mr. Nyandoro is wrong or right. Mr. Nyandoro is right, but everything that he's saying is right. But according to what is happening in South Africa, what we see is different from what they are doing. You understand? Because it's a fact that if you come to any country, you must be legally and you must be employed as a legal person. But what we are seeing is different from what the laws are saying. And when people act, if now, as he was saying, that Operation Dudula was not given a chance to talk to government and give ideas of what they want to do. Imagine, as what I was saying.
We can hear you.
Is the government that is letting South Africans down. And as the government is letting South Africans down, South Africa has to act. And then now when South Africa act, I'm not meaning violently, but if maybe they go and protest about something, they will be labeled as xenophobic. Anything that will concern, anything that will have to do with a person who's undocumented, South Africa will be labeled as xenophobic.
All right. Point of question. Can I just please ask a question? What is Operation Dudula?
JJ. Okay. Operation Dudula is a movement that was formed in 2020 that wanted the government to take South Africans a voice, because when South Africans voice their concerns, the government doesn't listen. And once now South Africans have to do something, they are not being given that opportunity to do. That's how Operation Dudula was formed in 2020. It's not something that was formed this year. It was formed in 2020.
Yeah, I just asked, what is Operation Dudula? Wait. What is Operation Dudula?
Operation Dudula is a community. It's like when you are having a community meeting where you will raise your points. Now, each and every time they were meeting to raise the concern of South Africans. And now, as the government was not acting, was not doing anything, when Operation Dudula give them the memorandum that this is the concern of South Africans, now they had to do it physically by standing up and protest and those things. That is why now we are seeing them protesting. It was not supposed to be like that. They were not supposed to be protesting. They were doing it nicely by meeting and discuss the matters of South Africa. But because the government doesn't want to intervene, that's how they had to step up.
So are you saying now we are facing, as Zimbabweans, are we now facing the results of Operation Dudula? We are now being incorporated into Operation Dudula. This Operation Dudula doesn't have to do a thing with us as Zimbabweans and us as the Southern African community. These are the South Africans.
I can help to answer that.
Yes.
Okay, so from what I understand and what I've been following about Operation Dudula is just like people of South Africa who came together.
Yes.
And then they identified the problems in their communities. And
Yes.
some of the problems included that, no employment for their people, for the young people, and also the high rate of crime, and also the issue of undocumented foreigners and many other things. So those are the problems they identified. But when they identified these problems, in trying to solve the problems, they said, let's look at the crimes that are being committed. Who is, committing more crime in South Africa? And you know that there's something about social media. Social media is a way of spreading things. So people started to say, well, there are so many foreigners in this country. These people must be the ones who are committing A, B, C, D. And that thing of saying foreigners are the ones committing crimes in South Africa, it became an issue. So it became part of Operation Dudula. So let's look at what foreigners are doing. And of course, we already know that the issue of, undocumented people in South Africa has been there for a long time. So when they start to go in, people, they can be an organization with leaders, but once a lot of people get involved, the thinking and the reasoning and the application, they differ. Some people get carried away. They want to be holding sticks and singing and jumping and banging on doors. Once that thing is not controlled, it became chaos. Okay, this is how I have seen the Operation Dudula.
Yes, and adding to that, this thing of, I'm sorry about Elvis Nyati, it was not Operation Dudula that was even there. It was another people that were protesting in Deep Sloot. It was not even Operation Dudula. And then that guy, Lax, went there to support as a person, not as Operation Dudula. Now, each and everything that has to concern a person who is not who is not a South African, everything, they plant it as Operation Dudula. And now people outside are taking advantage of doing things that are illegally in South Africa, and they plant it as Operation Dudula.
Yeah, but the way I see it, something that is amiss also, that Operation Dudula must do, I think they must go to police minister and release the information, how many foreigners are in prison, South Africa as a whole, and how many locals. Then they can actually see who is committing more crime than the other. Of course, we don't encourage crime, be it Zimbabwean or South African, everything, because now at the end of the day, whatever is happening with the Dudula is not turning to be crime. Even if they've got a very good point, but because it's not being listened to. And now, if I listen to you very, very carefully, very clearly, it seems like Operation Dudula is now emptying its anger on vulnerable Zimbabweans because it's failing to convince its government, because it was formed, according to you, to actually air out its problems to the government. But because the government is not listening to them, they are now targeting the vulnerable Zimbabweans, of which I think is not the right way of doing it. If really they form the operation to confront the government, they are a lot now. They must go to parliament and ask the right person and confront him. They are not, those guys, they are a lot. They are now in numbers, so they can do anything. So they must actually not divert from their own. If they've got a constitution which says we want to air out our problems to the government, they must go to the government before they come to the people.
Yes, Mr. Nyandoro, you are very right there, and everything that we've been saying is according to how the law wants to do things. But when you check, the law is not doing it like that. Okay, let's check. You were mentioning about prisoners in South Africa. Obviously, because in majority of people in South African, obviously it will be committed by South Africans, and that is a fact that obvious on prisons there are a lot of South Africans on prisons that have committed crime. But let's come to, it looks like we are not understanding each other when you are saying that Operation Dudula failed to tell government. It's not like Operation Dudula failed to tell government. You are saying you are in South Africa. I'm sure that as a person who's in South Africa, you will not get anything from South African government if you don't protest. I'm sure you know that if you want a road, tar road, you will not get it if you don't protest. You will not get anything in South Africa if you don't protest. So as the government is not listening to the people, the only thing to do is to protest. It's not like they are protesting against Zimbabweans or illegal immigrants or any foreigner. No, it's because as South African government doesn't want to respond each and everything, even if you want school, you want service in South Africa. I'm sure you've been seeing a lot of protests. You will never get anything in South Africa if you don't protest. So they are showing the government that we are protesting on our own, because if you don't do things on our own, it can cause havoc. You understand? So they are trying to tell government to act. And indeed, you are seeing how many arrests have been made since Operation Dudula started to operate. Because Operation Dudula was formed on 2020 and they were not operating, they were just gathering information of the communities. But when they hand the memorandum to the government, they don't do anything. Now they have to stand up and do it on their own. Hey, government, we are doing this because you don't want to do it. And indeed, you're starting to see things. People are being arrested. They are busy checking. Imagine that company, Hawaii. If it wasn't for Operation Dudula, imagine they employed more than 90% of foreigners.
Yeah. I followed the story. I followed that story.
After they protested. So you see, government doesn't want to act, and South Africans have to act on their own.
Yeah, but in all, from our discussion, what I have deduced is that even from the people who are here right now that we are talking to right now, we are all agreeing that the issue of undocumented immigrants is a problem. We are all agreeing that this is a problem. And I think that is a good start. The moment we all agree that there is an error, there is a problem here. And what is the problem? The problem is of illegal immigrants who are in the country. And of course, when people are illegal in a country, most likely they don't pay tax. Most likely they'll be doing, even if they're given very, very cheap jobs, they will take, because they cannot report anywhere. There's no way they can go and to the South African labor forces there and say, well, we're being paid less money, we work so hard. No, because whatever they're given, they just take. So corporates, they also take advantage of those things. But the main problem we have to face is illegal immigrants. What should be done to stop this problem? I will speak like for countries like China. I didn't want to bring this in, but for countries like China, they do have illegal immigrants here, but the laws are very, very tough. Okay, as a foreigner, when you enter into that country, the first thing you do, within 24 hours to 48 hours of getting into a city, you need to go and register at your nearest police station that you are going to be staying in this community. That way, they're able to know what you're doing, to follow you and everything. Even if they are local Chinese, real Chinese themselves, coming from a different city, coming into, for example, to to Beijing, they also need to register that they are now in Beijing, they've come from Shanghai. So it is like that. So we understand the importance of documentation on foreigners because it helps a lot. It helps in tracking when there is some crimes, or even not even about bad aspects, just to know that you as a foreigner, you are safe in a country that you are living in. So we really understand the problem of, undocumented people. Then the problem we are asking right now is that South Africa has a problem, and the reason why Zimbabwe is mentioned more than other countries, because Zimbabwe is the largest number of foreigners living in South Africa. So you find that maybe when white people are working.
Point of correction: Zimbabwe is not the largest number. It's
So
just
which one is
because they are the common. They are the common people who do the common jobs. Like, let's talk about the drivers. Let's talk about, they do the basic work.
Mm-hmm.
And then if we're talking about, my main point, like when I came into this conversation, who is the investor? Who is doing what?
Exactly.
If we look at the investors in South Africa, let's talk about African people. We'll talk about Nigerians. We'll talk about the Arabs. Let's talk about North Africans, West Africans. Let's talk about the Indians. Those guys are the guys who are investing. A few years ago, there was this issue about the kwaras, like the shops and stuff. How many Indian shops do we have in Soweto? How many Nigerian shops do we have in Soweto? Who is operating those things? The Zimbabweans, yes, they are working in those shops. They are qualified to work in those shops, but they're not the real investors. If we didn't have those investors, if we had South African investors, for example, if a South African would own the shop, and then a South African would own a shop and employ a Zimbabwean instead of a South African, now we would have an issue. But then the problem now is Africans are investing in South Africa. Africans are employing in South Africa. And then South Africans, they feel the hit just because they're saying, we are not getting any jobs just because we're hungry. Let's look at the education system. Would I, as an employer or as an investor, even if I invest or even I abide by the laws of South Africa, I need to get profit. That's the truth. I need to get profit. I need to hire somebody who is an expertise in my business. I need to hire somebody who knows what he does.
Okay, sorry to cut you short, but do you also agree that in order for this, you are saying they need to have profit, right? So do you also agree that for them to have profit, in some cases they end up employing, the undocumented foreigners so that they can, sort of exploit them? Do you agree to that?
It's a chain. Yes, it's a chain. I'll speak, for example, if I'm an investor or if I'm an employer in South Africa, if I hire somebody who's not qualified, for example, if I own a truck business, if the South African government finds that I hired an illegal driver, now my company has a bad record. It means if even I have 10 people who are working legally, my company still has a bad record.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as an employer, I have to think of that. Now,
But
if
this is sorry. Okay.
even if now, like if the way I would hire somebody who's working illegally is because that I would know. Okay, I'll just bribe a police person. I'll bribe somebody up there. That's the truth. That's happening,
So
right?
what you're saying is actually the correct thing to do. What you're saying is how it's supposed to be, but is it what is that what is happening on the ground? This is where the issue is now. What you're saying is what exactly is supposed to happen. An investor employs qualified people. If he wants to employ foreigners, they must be documented in everything. But the question they're bringing out is that what is happening on the ground?
It's not the thing that's happening. That's why I'm saying now it's not an outside issue, it's an internal issue. But as an internal issue, for example, if South African people say 20 million or 30 million of us are fighting the government, now we would like the Zimbabwean mass, who would like the Mozambican mass, would like the Nigerian mass to help us fight the government that's employing you illegally. Let's do this together from grassroots level. Then that would work. It's not like let's kill each other, because the government will just say, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And at the end of the day, when the elephants fight, the grass suffers. The people
Yeah, so but let's okay, sorry, I'm just going to allow JJ to say something if he wants to say something, then we close this. But I do have some questions for you guys.
Oh, okay, yeah. Thank you for giving me another opportunity. So, Mr. VSA, everything that you are telling is the truth, but it looks like you are saying the same thing that I was saying, Kuri. According to government laws, it should be like that. But what we are seeing is different. I'll show you this example. You said that point of correction, Zimbabweans are not mean in South Africa, but even according to statistics, Zimbabweans are people who are more who are the most in South Africa, who are coming from outside South Africa. Zimbabweans are the one who have large number compared to other African countries. So this matter is not something that we can be shy away with. We can see everything that is happening in South Africa.
I told you why. Because we are the most qualified people to look for the jobs. That's why people hire us. That's why people are running. I told you, doctors, nurses, right, teachers.
It looks like we are only looking at the Gauteng province. We are talking about the entire country, not only Gauteng province. Because when you go other province, okay, I'm showing you by myself. I'm coming from Limpopo. In Limpopo, it's difficult to find a person coming from Zimbabwe with documents, because in Limpopo, even the government doesn't care to look that side, because there is no investment compared to Gauteng. What we are talking about, we are only talking about Gauteng, and the more people you know, Limpopo and Zimbabwe, they just separate by Limpopo River. Is Limpopo River or,
Yeah,
or what?
Mm.
You see a lot. Even in my village, man, you can think that village is only Zimbabweans, but there are South Africans who think it's only Zimbabweans, because there are a lot of them. And the most painful part, even those South Africans, you found there's a person who wants a house maybe to be built, and a South African comes and says, well, I want 10,000 to build this house. But a
Zimbabweans for
Zimbabwean
2,000.
and say, they will demand less, to a point that they are the one who will be employed more. You understand? It's something that they even know. Even in my ward, you can be surprised. You will think, well, this ward is only Zimbabweans, but they are South Africans.
Yeah, okay, guys. So thank you so much, guys. But what I just want to conclude is that the starting point is to accept that there is a problem. That is the starting point. The moment we agree that yes, there is a problem of undocumented, foreigners in South Africa. That is the starting point, and then everything else we just see how it goes. Because at the end of the day, the South Africans are saying they are tired. They know. So even yourself as a Zimbabwean, when you're living in South Africa,
Zimbabweans are all tired, man. Nah.
Everybody is tired. Everybody is tired. Okay, South Africans are
we want to go
frustrated.
back
Okay,
home, like
Zimbabweans are also very tired. Every Zimbabwe wants to go home. They are tired. Today we are celebrating 42 years of independence. Okay, so Zimbabweans, they are also tired. So everybody is tired. South Africans are saying, "Hey, we are tired of you foreigners and everything," and Zimbabweans are saying we are also tired. So if if all of us are tired, then what's next? What should we do? What is the action plan? Okay.
Thank you, Z.
Thank you, Vince.
Yeah, thank
Okay.
you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's true. The issue is the illegal is the immigrant, and it looks like the government is shy to talk about this issue. So yeah,
What is the solution? What is the lasting solution to undocumented foreigners in South Africa?
It's an issue for another day.
It's an issue.
For today, I can make points, but then I tried to make points, but then guys,
yeah, I can see. It looks like you can make points that can help, but it looks like when there's South African, it will be looked
I'm
at
saying okay.
another
What
way.
I'm saying, you all right? JJ, you guys are not riding for Malema, right? Malema, you guys are not for him.
There are many people who love Malema, and there are other. You know, in South Africa, where it's an equal country. There are some who like Malema. There are some who don't like Malema. Those things. So it depends on which position in which party you are at.
But what's the rate now?
The rate.
For people following Malema.
Last time, which was last year, 2021 November, for Malema it was 10%, and for ANC was 46%.
Hey, who's running for ANC now?
You know, okay, let me tell you, let me show you something, my brother. You see, ANC before last year, 2021, they were having 58%. And then after voting last year, they got 46%, which is a very, like, it's a drop that they didn't expect, because they even got less than 50%. That is why even the government is even shy away from talking about this matter of immigration, because they see good South Africans, it looks like they don't like them, and if they talk about them, they will continue losing votes. So sometimes I blame the government, because the government is shy away from talking about this issue for
But
the
me
sake
personally, I liked who Julius. How Julius was good. Julius was a cool guy.
Yes, Julius Vere, each and everyone in South Africa, they love him. But since he was in a position of immigrants, that's where things started to change. So yeah, we will see by 2024 whether people will still vote or what.
But do you have new blood in South Africa at the moment?
Do you what?
Do you have new blood? In Zimbabwe now we have our current president, and we have Nelson Chamisa. And then
yes,
in South Africa, do we have new blood? Because like we only a year apart. You guys are 2024, and Zimbabwe we are 2025. Am I correct?
2023.
Oh, yeah, we only like a year apart.
Yeah, well, a year apart, but the only parties that are dominating is only three. ANC number one, DA number two, EFF. It's been like that for years. Even if new parties come, we have more than 100 parties in South Africa. Even if they come, we have a lot.
But who's hot at the moment?
It was ANC, but because ANC was kept quiet about this issue of immigrants, EFF intervened, and since South Africans, it looks like they have problem with that, they are starting to shift away from him.
Hey, it's a whole thing with this COVID thing. Let's keep safe. Z, can you just please let me know what's happening in Botswana at the moment? I heard 2 days ago there was I think a new variant in Botswana. Is it in Botswana or somewhere in Southern Africa?
It's Botswana, but it's still being investigated to see what's going on.
Okay. I'm afraid of this COVID issue. Then let's just keep safe, because it seems as if everything is coming from Southern Africa. Last time it was, So yeah.
I'm sorry to intervene, but it's my first time hearing that Botswana detected a new variant. But imagine the last time it was detected by South Africa, it was only negative comments. Imagine,
bro,
just hate South Africa.
I know what you're talking
it
about.
closed Shanghai in China. that variant close China.
That
It's
that 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 South African variant, when it came out, all the airports started to close. People started to be banned.
Yes, yes, and it was supposed to be like that. But according to how people were saying it, it looks like it's something that was produced by South Africa, and
now.
without knowing that they managed to get that variant. So we don't know.
And we don't know. With this COVID thing, we just don't know. But then, uh, it closed. Like now we are on lockdown just because of that South African variant. I don't know what this Botswana variant is going to do. Maybe next time we're going to have a Zimbabwean variant.
No, no. Only South Africa will bring it. When it comes from South Africa, we are locked.
Well, because even now the national state of disaster have ended, so we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, so thank you so much, gentlemen. I have put my email there. So in case you want to contact me, you can contact me for some more other things that we might discuss together. But I really appreciate such platforms like this when we get, that when people start to talk one-on-one, and this is when you understand how someone else is thinking, how other people are seeing things, because we see things from different perspectives. From where I am in the comfort of my home, I'll be seeing things differently from someone who is in the
Hey,
street,
yeah,
from someone who is there.
you have some bottles behind you. And then I know from the comfort of your home. But I have a question. Sorry, maybe just because now I'm on this platform, I'd just like to ask a few questions.
Okay, okay.
Mr. JJ,
Yes,
are you back home in SA at the moment?
I'm in South Africa.
Oh, okay. How's the COVID situation back then?
So COVID situation is not that bad, because even last week or last of last week, the national state of disaster was the last day for, I think it was Friday last week. We don't have national state of disaster now.
So we don't have lockdown in South Africa at the
No,
moment.
we don't have lockdown in South Africa. Even the COVID cases are
So
very
I'm a
down.
piano can fire, Baba.
Yeah, everything, events, yes.
That's good, Baba. That's good. And
Yes.
also we have a guy who's been following one of my guys. He is Tinashe Dobenya, and then Z. I think you have to, you know, follow him. He has a lot of points to make.
No, you can just you can send me on WeChat, then I'll say.
Oh, sure.
Mm.
Thanks, Mr. JJ. I think
Yeah.
we will keep in touch.
Yeah, thank you for this wonderful
Before
conversation.
we go, I have a point list to make. I'm just scratching some points. Z,
Mm.
what are we doing for independence? As in the Chinese community, because I understand very much that you are in China, and then what's the plan for Zimbabwean independence in China?
Zimbabwe
You've been firing
42.
questions at the moment.
Yeah, it is. It's okay. You can just send me a message. Then I'll give you all the details.
Oh, sure.
Oh, okay. So thank you so much, everyone. I really want to appreciate everyone who was in our live stream. And I really need to make a shout out to this person here, Tando Patel. Thank you so
But
much,
then she didn't
Tando.
come. She didn't come online.
No, she
She
tried
just.
to come, but she wanted to be there, but I don't know what happened with her camera. She couldn't connect the microphone or the camera, something like that. Tando, I would have loved to hear your views, but unfortunately, I think you had a problem in connection. And then we've got Mchuno. Guys, when I was in South Africa, 2000 and, let me see, 2011. 2011, one of my best friends was Piwoko Mchunu. We're still in touch anyway. Then Ayob Mpilo, thank you so much. Trust Munas, Mute Hell, Ayob. Okay, I'm repeating people here. Let me go up. These things. Trust Muvax, thank you. Other people, I cannot get everybody here. Let me just try to be quick, okay? Bright, Rogers, okay, Dando, Basia, Moma and Hope, Mr. Kobe, thank you so much. Mr. Nyandoro, thank you so much. Okay, sweet girl. There's someone who said they want to take sweet girl to India, and then someone said they want to take you to Nigeria to be the Makoti there. Remember what Nhlanhla said? They say that when you get married to a foreigner, you need to go to your husband's home and be Makoti. Don't marry and then you want to stay with
Z,
your
now
husband,
is
okay, in
it
South Africa.
another
No.
platform
Get
for
married and go with your
relationship
husband.
advices?
They said when you get married. So, sweet girl, when you get married to
Oh, that's
your
good. That's a good one.
sweet girl, when you get married to your Indian or your Nigerian guy who was looking for you there, you need to pack your bags and go with them. They don't stay. Okay. That's what they said. Okay, Theo, okay, Christopher, David, Walter, and everybody else, guys, you are appreciated, okay?
IETC, I look at yourself.
Yeah?
You're now at the ETC point of like and etc.
Yeah, ETC
and many more.
and many more, okay? So, all of you guys, all the South African, but guys, anyway, I have my South African friends, they are married to foreigners, but they are staying in South Africa. But I just wish, I don't know if they came across this news, okay? They need to check out this news, okay? They need, Operation Dudula is also coming for those South African ladies who are married
Like
to,
that.
to,
That was my question. What is Operation to done? I have people like relatives. That's why I was like, guys, I think the way we explain Operation Judah at this platform is different from what's happening on social media.
is yeah, I know.
Yeah, yeah, it's different from what people are explaining at social media because Operation Dudula, even if when they operate, even if when they go and protest, they don't go alone. They go with the police to show that it's not something that they are doing illegally. And in South Africa, you have to apply, the protest, and they do all those process, all those things. But in social media, they paint it as like something that he has to vandalize or to do vigilantic things. So yeah.
I keep talking. Z,
Yes.
another question.
Okay.
What's your take on yesterday's conference? No, not conference. The church visit. How was it?
The church visit,
Mm-hmm.
it was okay. A man has to do what a man has to do.
Yeah, I like it when you say like that. But then when women do that,
Yeah.
or when other parties do that, when
If
other
they are
people do it,
invited, they can go.
okay.
It's the house of the Lord. Okay, so for me, because
Peace
me
out.
also maybe I want to go and stay in South Africa, but if I go to South Africa, they're going to tell me, Ziki, no, 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 no. So me, because from taking from the Dudula people, they say when you are a South African woman, you get married to a foreigner, you need to go. So me as a woman, if I get married to my South African
This
husband,
one.
I have got the right to stay in South Africa. Yo, hey. I have the right to stay in South Africa because I'll be married to my South African husband.
That's good. And then as Zimbabweans, we have actually the law for the chiefs.
Yeah,
A woman has to
Miss
abide.
Hell, sorry, Miss Hell. We are going to be having. Actually, I have put. You was asking me when are you going to have a discussion about Zimbabwe? Very good question. I'm putting together a panel. I already have, and this one is going to be massive. I
All
have
right,
put
let's
together.
do this up. Z.
Yeah. I have okay, VSA. I have put together a panel. I have invited all those Zimbabwean journalists, and everybody is going to be here. I told them we need solution. Okay, we people needs to hear you. All right. So I know what you're talking about. It's already in the pipeline. You will see. Okay. So in the meantime, guys, I really want to appreciate you very, very much. It's almost 1:30 a.m. here, but of course, I'm still here. So me, I'm going to be finding myself a Xhosa husband or a Zulu or a what?
Niyangikhuluma isiZulu ayixhosa niyangidoba doba.
We are doba doba. What about isiNdebele?
IsiNdebele mina busi yam.
Bushing.
I speak a lot of languages, but then when they come together,
But myself, because of my mom, because my mom is very, very, very pew Ndebele, ne? So yeah.
you Ndebela, Ndebela kuXhosa, Ndebele ku Chinese. You.
Yeah, me, I join all those languages. I have to. Otherwise, people are
But
going to say
Mr. JJ, I think we are on live. So I think it's time to peace out.
yes, it's time to go. Thank you so much, VSA. Okay, I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. JJ. You are appreciated. You, if you want to contact Ziki, I have put my email, but I know that this email is already gone. Thank you, Pretty. Thank you, Pretty. Tando, thank you so much. I really wanted to hear Tando speaking, but unfortunately,
Me
she
too.
failed.
Me too.
Yeah?
Me too.
Yeah, you also wanted to hear Tando, ne?
And then she just got in like with the video and stuff, but then the audio
Yeah,
was like
because she failed to connect. She failed to connect the what do you call it? She failed to connect the camera and the mic. So I think that is what happened there. But other than that, I really appreciate each and everybody. As a host, it's very not good of me to leave people in the stream. So people should leave
yeah.
me here and I'll switch off. So that is why I'm waiting for
That's
everybody
what
to
I'm saying.
leave,
It's not
leave.
3 hours, 25 minutes.
Yeah, so I'm waiting for my friends to leave,
15,
leave. Goodbye,
13,
everybody, so that I can switch
10,
off.
9, 8. I need to be on point. You need to edit this thing.
Yeah,
Edit.
yeah, yeah. And you also
My
you need
last
to
minutes.
contact. If you say you need to contact me ASAP, otherwise, uno zuruza. Okay, guys. So thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Let me just take a sip of something here. My thirst is now dry. I've been talking for too long. Thank you, guys. You are appreciated. I am switching off now. Okay, Bashir, thank you, everybody. I'm leaving you. Thank you, guys. I'm switching off now. Goodbye, Muzansa Finest. You also you had you just went off. We wanted to hear what you were going to say, but next time, thank you, Muzansa Finest. You are appreciated. It's very, very early now. It's about 1:30 a.m. here. But of course, because of time difference, I don't sleep early. Okay, now I am switching off. Thank you.